If it's clear and yellow, you've got juice there, fella. If it's tangy and brown, you're in cider town. Now, there's 2 exceptions, and it gets kind of tricky here.
You can stay, but I'm leaving.
Candy yellow if they're using late season apples. And of course, in Canada, the whole thing's flip-flop.
What's going on, everyone? It's Nina Infinity. Welcome to my channel. On this Sunday, we are going to be reviewing Rings of Power, episode 5. And spoiler alert, it sucks. But yeah, we're going to get into it. We're going to talk about all of it with the panel here and our very special guest, Gary from Nerdrotic. Hi.
Hello. What's up, everybody?
Hello.
Are we live?
Oh, yeah, we're live.
No gamer words or anything?
No
no
gamer
racist
words,
stuff.
please,
All
sir.
right.
But yeah, oh my God, we have so much to talk about. This fucking episode. But you know what? Let's start with the intros first. Hello, Script Doctor. How are you?
I'm doing well. Having fun. Glad to be here because when you watch this show, you do need a meeting afterwards for recovery.
It's true. It's like those meetings that Gary has gone to several
Are
times.
we technically all each other's sponsors in this to a degree?
Yeah, we are.
It's a fellowship.
I think so. I think so. Script Doctor, tell everyone where they can find you before we start.
You can find me on Twitter at ScriptDoctorPhD, where I'm defending human people being able to work and not being replaced by machines, as additional making commentaries on stories and script writing, as well as a YouTube channel, youtube.com/ScriptDoctor, where I review film and television from a writer's perspective.
Yay! And we also have Jane Theory here. Hello, Jane Theory.
Hello. Happy to be here. How are you guys?
We're doing good. I'm doing good. Well, I was almost canceled. This
I
week
saw that
on Twitter. It was pretty crazy. I'm super racist. I'm in good company though. I got this guy next to me. Got Ryan Kinnell. I mean, everybody's racist now. So, hey, I'm just gonna keep on keeping on.
Why not?
With my racism. Jane, tell everyone where they can find you.
Yeah, you can find me on YouTube where I post movie and television reviews and occasionally some pop culture commentary. You can also find me on Twitch, Twitter, and Instagram at Jane Theory.
Yay! And we also have the awesome, the crazy, I don't know what that laugh is, but it definitely sounds like a devil. It's Literature Devil. Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Thanks for having me on.
Of course. Tell everyone where they can find you before we get started.
You can find me on YouTube, usually on the Literature Devil YouTube channel. Talk about narrative structure, things like that, and debunk all the crazy narratives that make all the Twitter people happy, and then debunk them, break them in half, and then make them cry, which is what they need. I think they deserve to be miserable, and I like that.
Yes.
Walk into their paradise and play the serpent. I like doing that. It's fun.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's fantastic. And last but certainly not least, it's Gary from Nerdrotic. Hello. Good to see you, my fellow BBC, not BBC host.
It's getting pretty BBC lately, to be honest.
It's true. Hey, I mean, you're gonna have to adapt, Gary. It's a woman's world now.
It is. It's okay. I feel seen. You can find me in this office. I don't ever leave it. I was in this thing all day. I've got little piles of action figures that I've been ignoring for like 7 months that I finally decided to put away today. That's all I've been doing. I've been doing.
I hear you like something called comic books.
Yeah, those are next.
Oh, okay.
Those are next.
Yeah.
God, once you finish moving, you're like, all right. And when you get the furniture put away, and then it's the collectibles, and you're like, I don't ever want to do this again.
Yeah, I know. I still don't have mine from Canada. I haven't shipped like anything out here because it's so freaking expensive. So everything is still back there.
We still have a storage. Melissa's back there right now. And I've got a storage full of comic books and still in San Francisco still.
Yeah. So yeah. Well, welcome to the channel. Welcome back. And we're gonna talk about your favorite thing now. Rings of Power.
Oh boy.
Oh boy. Yay. So the episode started with Gandalf. Well, I mean, it's pretty clear it's freaking Gandalf now.
quote unquote.
Yeah, Gandalf.
There's
Apparently,
no
he's not retarded anymore, and he knows how to speak now. And I was like, wait, what? When did he learn how to speak?
I don't know. I guess it was cut from the previous episode.
screen,
We didn't see
yeah.
them at all.
He almost did something really good this episode, though. Like he almost killed that Hopper girl. He's like, yes, go ahead and kill her. That's good. That's a good
I thought
opening. It's
that
my
was
favorite episode.
I mean, you're skipping ahead a little bit, but yeah, that does happen. He almost kills this Harfoot chick, and I was like, oh my god, this
Gandalf.
show almost became good because if he had killed her off, I would have been like, all right, like that's surprising. I didn't see that
Justice.
coming.
Well, especially before they started singing, right?
Oh,
So
God.
Metcalf
God.
here.
They're trying
And-
so hard to be Tolkien, but they're not.
I understand you have to do exposition like sometimes. I get it. It's like part of a show. I was just watching Doctor Who, some really good episodes. Fantastic. There's exposition all over the place, but it's like really well placed. They start out just telling you, hey, things are really dangerous. I mean, we've already shown you wolves.
Mhm.
We know trolls are around. We could just figure this stuff out with Middle Earth, but she has to paint a picture. But the true danger was the singing afterwards. That's
Oh my
what the
God.
actual danger is, because I wanted to harm myself when I heard it.
Dude, that song, like, I mean, if they weren't butchering Tolkien, like, I might have been like, oh, okay, well, it's a nice song, but it was so on the nose and annoying and just like, and now it's like, oh, yeah, that's where Gandalf got that saying from, right? Like these fucking Harfoots. Like,
Famous
All who
Gandalf
want-
saying the hobbits are annoying. I like.
Yeah. All who wander are lost. That's the words they used. I don't even know
Yeah.
what that means. Like,
no. All who wander or wander, because
or
Wander.
wander.
yeah, it's wander. Yeah. So there's an O and there's an A.
I was
and-
wondering what the I was listening to.
I thought they were saying all who wonder are lost.
It sounded like a 4-year-old girl like singing a song like when you're taking her out to the beach or something. Like,
Yeah.
like one of my nieces, la 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 la. That's all it sounded like.
It did. It sounded like, like that Frozen song, like, let it go, like that song that
Nowhere near the quality.
really, because I hate that song.
You
I
can really
thought it
tell
was
that
I've never
Tolkien
heard
really
it
know how to
in its
write
entirety,
in
so.
comparison. These people don't. As I said before, this is baby's first epic. Like it sounds really watered down. Like they got a bunch of high school fan fiction writers to write Tolkien for them, who never read Tolkien or was even a fan of Tolkien. So just fan fiction without the actual passion or fan part.
Mm.
And people who don't like Tolkien, they just want their own message and they're using his names and places to construct their own personal narrative.
Yeah,
Well,
speaking
it's
of
more like
places, we got
vindictive
more
fiction.
map as well during the song.
I think it was just during this scene. Maybe they showed it one more time. I'm starting to block it out of my memory for self-preservation. But yeah, and I liked how they did the little dots to show it's like little hobbit feet or Harfoot feet. 'cause you can't see
Yeah,
them all.
little Harfoot feet. Well, you know what's so crazy is I didn't understand what actually was going on because they're like kind of like carrying their little whatever the fuck that is, that house on wheel, like the little wagon. Yeah. But it's only them and Gandalf.
Why
and
did
I'm
they
like,
go right through the lake, the little creek here? I mean, I still put the dry land
Literally.
on each side of it. They
There's
like
a reason
went
why
right
they're the
down
last
middle.
guys.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I was like, where are the rest of them? Did they actually leave them behind? Because they
Wouldn't
weren't
you?
in any of the shots.
They're
I
a
would-
little further ahead. They're a little
You can
further-
see one in the background there, but like they didn't have the money
This
from the
one,
cast.
no, this is the fat
Meanwhile,
girls
they
thing.
only had 60 million an episode. Okay, they can't afford that many extras.
No, Gary, this wagon is the fat Harfoot's wagon. She's like running over here to help
How's
them
she
dig
fat?
this one out.
She's not eating muffins and cakes and stuff. It's just fruit and berries and like there's no way she should
Snails.
be heavy and snails.
Yeah.
She's
Dude,
a
and
body
Especially with how much
positive.
walking in
She's a
their
body
in their
positive.
exercise too. They would not be heavy.
I like to just imagine that she's the one eating all the dead hobbits that they leave behind.
That's probably it. That's probably it. She ate her family. That's why she
That would be
Everyone.
kind of gamey,
every
wouldn't
time
it?
she gets indigestion, she feels sad.
Dude, she was like there's, and it's so funny to me because they're just like in passing talking about how they basically are thieves and they just live off like whoever's land. She's like, we go to this place and there's all these strawberries and all these fruits and stuff, and I'm like who's growing these fruits? Are you guys just robbing people as you go, like all these
Steal
I
them all.
mean,
farmers?
they're essentially Middle Earth gypsies. That's what they're trying to make them out to be.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We need Frollo. We need a Middle-earth Frollo to go just start, hacking them away at them. It's gonna be 1,000 men. Find their court of miracles. Get a hunchback in there.
Oh my god.
But they're
Yeah,
just so nasty and dirty and filthy. It's
Even
just-
yes,
that's racist.
that pond was clear before they stepped into it.
Well, they are. They have dirty feet. It's the whole
They
thing.
dirty everything.
dirty necks, dirty bodies.
I'm like, they're so dirty.
I mean, I'm not surprised they have a fat hobbit though, because that's like old school writing. You got to have the fat best friend. Old school women writing. You have to have your fat best friend to stand next to look better, because the fat best friend always makes the main character look better because the best friend is fat.
Yes, but also they're clearly doing the juxtaposition here with Sam and Frodo. So Sam
Oh,
is
yeah,
like, the
this-
skinny little whatever, or I mean the other Harfoot. She's like the Frodo, and this one is the fat chubby one like Sam. And it's like, come on.
Yeah, but Sam had like 20 kids.
Yeah, Sam was a Chad.
Oh my gosh. The Uber Geek for 5 says, give me the meat and give it to me raw. No.
I actually like that one because that's a dwarf after my own heart. I like to eat my steaks like rare, so like yes, all right. Cooking is just kind of like a, like a anti faux pas. You don't want to read it raw in front of people.
You read it
That's what you
wrong.
need.
When you're reading it to Fremron, it's I read it a little wrong.
Plays Guts theme.
Speaking of Guts' theme.
I am not gay. I have relationships with women, sex with men.
And I got news for you. That means you're gay.
I got
Props to those
news for
actors
you.
for pulling that off with a straight face. Like,
That guy was shaking his head like it was an actual argument that he defeated. I got news for you though. That actually means that you're semi-bisexual. I think it's a thing now. This means you're bisexual, but you're only attracted to one gender.
And then we get feminine.
This
This
look. It's like the audience's face when they watch this show. Like, what is this?
What is
I
that?
went to high school with a kid that looked like that, but he had black hair instead of blonde.
He's like,
And he was
he's gonna come
still a
home-
loner.
Yeah, he's gonna come to school one day in a trench coat and a few other
Yeah,
outfits.
yeah.
Oh my god, totally.
or join the military to go overseas and kill people. Like that's the only reason. Not to fight for your
Uh-huh.
country, not for anything patriotic. Just I want to kill somebody and not get away
Just
with it.
point it,
Yeah.
point it in the right direction, and hopefully it doesn't kill too many people.
Well, I mean, where they actually needed some exposition or explanation or something, they explain nothing. These people just show up, and you're like,
and it's just the same clip from the trailer. And they
yeah.
do nothing, and it requires the little box on the side that you get with Amazon Prime. I'm sure all of you are watching it on Amazon Prime, and you're not going to Tortuga, but you get that little info box on the side that's annoying as hell. Every time you move your mouse, they go
Mhm.
stop. It's like, Jesus, stop. But it tells you that for something with a D, they start. It's something made up, and I was told they were elven, but their ears, they have normal human ears.
Wait, they're Elven?
They were. That was told,
on,
but that
let
could have
me-
been wrong.
Let
That
me
could
go
be
back
wrong.
a couple
But are
frames
they
here.
like Adar, or whatever? This like corrupted elves?
They might. No. They're after. They're after not Gandalf because they think he's Sauron.
Oh.
Yeah, because he
You
was
want
like
spoiler?
touching that flame spot where his
You know how I
body
knew that was a
landed.
flame spot, by the way, because they
Hmm.
flashed it for me. Because there's
Right.
no way I would have ever figured that out. Now, maybe the audience that's hanging on, maybe that's a courtesy. I'll give them that. But
Hmm.
Could this be other Maya?
Possibly. I'm thinking maybe
Oh.
and not Elven. which would even be worse, dude.
Oh my
It would be
God.
so much worse.
Well, yeah, because this chick doesn't have elf ears. Well, I'm assuming it's a chick.
Yeah.
I assumed her gender.
They're not supposed to be around. Like they're not supposed to be around. This
Oh
is
my
after the
God.
War of Wrath. And it's really a time of rebuilding all this stuff. That's why all this stuff takes so long to do. The forging of the rings of all of them is 50 years. It's a 50-year period.
That's why we haven't seen any rings yet, even though we can't tell what the time is in this freaking era.
Okay. So, I mean, I know this doesn't fully describe it because I only studied it like for a month in school, but the mental map, it's in my aesthetics. I took this like intensive course. So it was like 4 years of film school in 4 months. And we went 10 to 12 hours a day, 6 days a week. So like in no theory, none of this bullshit speeching. They just showed me, they handed me a camera and they taught me everything. I got a job out of it. But in the aesthetics class, I learned something about called the mental map. The mental map, which is, you're supposed to subconsciously pick up on certain things that they give you that's not like really specific information. So you know where you are in the freaking story. Script doctor would know about this.
Yeah, passive exposition is also the other term.
That's it. I think my instructor just used the word mental map, but you're right. This show doesn't have that. I don't know where I am, and it's got a map, and I still don't know where I am. I don't know what time it is, and more importantly, I don't care. But
yeah, I definitely don't know what
you're-
what time it is half the time. I'm like,
No, you're talking exactly about the concept of setting, which is that, okay, what's the time of day, the place, the context with the characters and where they are. It's the mental map is actually a common term, but yeah, it's really just how do you execute mental map? Through passive exposition. You have things in the background. Like if you don't want to say what time it is, you'll put a clock in the background and it'll be either analog or digital. And it'll say the time so that you don't have to waste dialogue of your character saying, well, it's 12:38. I better go to lunch. It's like, no, you just have them at lunch. You show in the background it's noon. You set the table and you show it's midday. It's like, oh, we understand it. It's noon time. They're having lunch. They're at this restaurant. That's all the information conveyed passively or subtly to your audience, and then you just focus on the dialogue being the meat of the scene. Like, oh, like Hitchcock would say, there's a bomb underneath the table, but neither of the people that are at that table know it's there, so it's ticking away, and that's how you build suspense. And you don't have to use words to do that. You use images, and you do it all carefully. And this is completely devoid of that. We get nothing of it at all. Like, things happen, but they don't have the connective tissue to provide meaning for why they happen or consequences because they happened.
But that's the problem. When you distort time in this way, you're cutting out so much material and explanation for what's actually happening in the scenes they're trying to recreate. And they can't fill in the gaps with anything that is even closely matches what Tolkien came up with. So it doesn't make sense. The whole Numenorean storyline doesn't make any sense. Where they're going or what they're doing or why at this point makes absolutely no sense, even in the context of their show, let alone the actual story.
You know what else doesn't make any sense? What the fuck is going on with this guy and the orcs now being vampires?
Who knows?
Well, sometimes they are. I noticed that I had to rewatch episode 4 because every episode's so forgettable. I don't even know. But I had to rewatch 4 and then go to 5. And yeah, in 4, they just outright in the daylight chasing after that one kid with the sword. And then later on, the same exact freaking orcs are like, oh no daylight, because that's what saves them, because they're going to the forest chasing them down, and they're not getting away. Like one guy got hurt, they're about to be overtaken by the orcs, and then the sun comes up, and they're like, oh wait, no daylight. Like, wait a minute.
I guess their arrows don't work in the daylight either.
No, their aim sure as hell doesn't.
Yeah, it goes down by like 20% or something like that. I guess they take a big negative.
Maybe
they forgot. They
had to really focus on putting them in white hoods.
Oh yeah, the orcs oddly white. Like they're all white looking for.
They're all super white, but that's because. Do you want a couple of spoilers?
Yes, of course.
Oh,
spoiler alert, everybody!
Nobody's gonna watch this show.
so the slim lady, the warrior nun, whatever that, maybe Maya. They confirm that. Feminem. They confirm that the stranger is not Sauron. Okay, they confirm that. That's about all they do is confirm that he's not Sauron. The Adar, I mentioned in my video today, he's making these orcs. That's why they're calling him father. So he's making the orcs.
He's making the orcs?
An elf is making
I mean,
orcs.
that's what I figured because that's what he's like. That's why when he went to give that guy a mercy killing and then he was like crying over him, I was like, so is he like, and they call him Orc Father. So I'm like, okay, so that's he's making them.
So what was he a metaphor? Like Jordan Peterson or something?
Yeah.
What?
But like,
Yes, that's what he is.
how is he making
Trump
them?
Peterson.
Trump
Yeah,
Peterson.
how is he making them?
Like, is
His
he breeding them
blood,
with
I
a female
think.
orc somewhere, or
From his
like,
blood. Yeah. Well, no, he's making them like Saruman did.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
we're forgetting the part that remember when they said there's going to be female orcs in this?
Yes.
They showed it was a dude. I haven't seen any female orcs yet.
I haven't seen any female,
Okay.
or at least
The
not
orcs-
distinguishable.
The orcs
female
get it on. They multiply on their own. The Urukai was a like it's like Saruman gene splicing, basically, you know.
Yes.
And so
Yes.
the maybe he's doing like a prototype Saruman thing that they're going to mention as an Easter egg at some point. It's the lore is so messed with right now. It's ridiculous.
What
And
lore?
I know. No, the only time when they were saying I'm going to go back to the book, they just needed a name. That's all they needed. They don't need actual stuff to adapt. It's just I need a name. I need a name of a place. That's it.
That's pretty. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Evil
real
cannot
quick-
create; it can only corrupt what good forces have made.
Okay.
Britt Cormier for $20. Thank you so much. Says I skipped the episode. However, I did listen to that Harfoot song. Hobbitfoot. Okay, Harfoot song. The fact that it is a song in Middle Earth is an abomination. When I think of Misty Mountain's cold exit along that crap, it hurts.
Oh
dude,
yeah,
I felt it too.
I mean, look at the old songs from like the cartoon and all those things. Even the Hobbit, like they have the road goes ever on and things like that. And those are, if you listen to the lyrics, it's not about the pleasures of conformity. No, it's about the lyrics they seem simple because Tolkien was wise, and this is why a lot of writers hit their stride when they're older. Because Tolkien was wise, he was able to sew in some interesting subtext in there. And what you get is the tension when it kind of hits the opposite. So you have a simple song that sounds upbeat, but when you listen to the lyrics, it's all about like wandering, and it's not implicit. I mean, it is implicit. It's not so overt. It's not in your face. Yeah, it's not overt, but it's a simple song. But underneath it, it's a journey about wandering and not knowing where to go, and it goes ever on. And because if you look at Bilbo's journey, that's kind of what it was. It was like we're heading someplace, but there's so many obstacles in our way and so tough, and can we even make it? And look at the Misty Mountains. Like every single song has a story, and even in the cartoon show, the cartoon movies, they use these songs as exposition because they're so important, so impactful. As opposed to the wandering song was just like I'm wandering. As we watch them wander, like they're singing a song about the exact thing they're watching them do.
Yeah,
it has
that's the other part too. And even though Tolkien despised allegory, those songs are very allegorious to actual life. We don't know where we're going. It's lots of things come into our obstacles. We try to persevere. I would much prefer Leonard Nimoy's Bilbo Baggins song to be used.
No, right? And like what precipitated Bilbo wanting to leave again. Yes, he went on the adventure and he kind of wanted to relive that, but it was the effing ring. It was the ring. The ring makes you want to go too. It did the same thing to Frodo. So it's the power of the ring, because the ring wants to get back to its master.
Because Sauron is calling to it and it wants to get back to its master. That was the whole fucking point. That there is no point with these people.
I don't even know what the show is anymore.
It's definitely not about a bunch of rings. I can tell you that much.
Number one thing that it is, it's boring. It's like 5 hours of boring so far.
Dude,
They've
I
done
fell
nothing.
asleep like 3 times in this episode.
No, the last 2 episodes were both an hour and 10 minutes long. So that's 2 hours and 20 minutes.
And I fell asleep so many times. I was like, why? Why do I do this to myself?
So many people are saying that. It's ridiculous.
When I was recording my video, I'm going through the I'll watch about 5 minutes, right? And I'll stop and I'll write my notes and stuff. I fell asleep doing that. Like fell asleep.
Like cramming for school.
Yeah.
I got a brand new chair like a few months ago, and it's very comfortable, but
I know
it's making my ability to fall asleep during the show so much easier. My girlfriend has woke me up multiple times over the past month, asking why am I staring at a blank Amazon Prime screen.
Are you okay?
Oh, this scene was great because you know what? Okay, in the beginning, episode 1, we're introduced to this one guy, Don Numenor. Like we're introduced to this guy as if he's a main character, but he's like the lackey. Like the girlfriend lady. She's the one taking all the charge, leading all the people, making all the speeches.
There was no way he was going to be a main character. He was always going to be her sidekick and support
They don't even let him do
her.
anything. Yeah,
She's the main character.
Like she's just some random lady, and he's like this awesome elven warrior who's been living hundreds of years. He even says so in this last episode. But why is she the leader then? Like, shouldn't he be a leader? He should be wiser, braver, more knowledgeable in every situation, in every way than her. He's a regular human. So how come he's not taking charge and taking leadership? He's way
Because
wiser than
he
she
has
is.
a penis. Come on,
Yep,
now, literature
that's
devil,
exactly what it
you know
is.
that.
But he's been through this before, so he should know more. But also, where are their actual leaders? Like,
How come,
these
yeah,
people
none of
have
them.
leaders.
Like, shouldn't they have actual? Like, what is she, like a barmaid or
Why are
something?
you going to the hippie?
Yeah,
She's a
because she was
veterinarian, I
a
think, right?
barmaid, and the dude that took off was the bar owner. Like that, and I guess they were the leaders of their town. Like I didn't understand because I was like,
No,
doesn't
I
your
thought she
town
was
have
the
a mayor?
veterinarian. Wasn't she? They take a cow to her because it was gooing out blood, black.
Yeah,
milk?
she was
Yeah.
like
So
a
she's like the doctor or veterinarian. Of
Oh
the town.
yeah, like what
she's
happened
a
with that?
herbologist.
Why
She's a
is the
herbologist.
animal going up black? Why was the grass dying? What was it? What's causing
Yeah.
it?
It's the darkness from the orcs.
It's Sauron. Sauron. It's that guy.
It's them pissing in the lake, and then the cows are drinking it. And
You
then
sure it's not the Harfoots walking through the lake and the cows
It's the
are eating
Harfoot.
it?
It's so nasty.
I think it's
It's
the
the
Harfoots.
you're right. It's
But then
so
we get this
nasty.
speech from her that comes straight out of the CW.
The
Oh my
Harfoots.
God.
If it was Don Lemon saying it, people would be like, "Oh yeah, I remember when Stephen Amell said that in season 4." You know, it's just
Dude, it was so funny
really
too
bad.
because she's giving the speech, and then he kind of gives like 2 words, and then that racist guy's like, "We're not gonna listen to an elf." And like it's like, dude, she was giving the speech the whole time. And then all of a sudden, the old dude's like, "We're gonna go to Sauron," and like,
The elf is gonna take our jobs.
We're gonna enlist.
and then they all take off, and I was like, "Wait, what's happening?"
Well, her speech sucked. I mean, let's be real. And his
True.
speech sucked too. I just don't know why they couldn't all just leave. It's like what there's no town to go back to. Your town was kind of crappy anyway.
Yeah.
Like
Do they even need a
Let's go.
speech? I mean, it's kind of self-evident that they kind of need to get out of there or need something. Then something needs to be done.
But why just stay to be attacked? Like,
you
the
had
other
a
part
big
too,
moment to like
we get
we
no
need
attachment to their land.
female representation and Tolkien. So you had your big moment to like give a Theoden like speech, and she goes, "Fight with me, cause reasons and things."
Mhm.
It's so generic. It's like
Well,
fight with me.
It was
Look-
trying to be like a reflection of the previous episode when Galadriel and that other
Galadriel.
queen chick was like, you know, who's gonna fight with us? And then they're like, yeah, we are. And then
that didn't
now
make
she's
sense.
doing it over here.
That didn't make any sense either, because if you're the queen regent of your country, don't you have charge of your military? Like, do you have to ask them to volunteer? You already have a standing army, right?
You're like
It's
a
called
commander in
conscription.
chief, but she's a
Mm.
she's a general in chief. Okay, was voted on, even though her dad like basically rebelled against the entire system of Numenor.
Yeah, even though it was a monarchy, though, and that's not how monarchies work. But hey, whatever. Okay,
But they're missing the most
It's a
important aspect.
nationalistic monarchy.
Yeah, they're missing the
Know
most
that?
important part of the land, which is, we've got in the 4 episodes prior to this one. There's nothing that the humans have established to say that they value the place where they live. There's nothing to say they had roots. There's nothing to say they had importance. There's more understanding of the value of the land in the episode Ensigns of Command from Star Trek TNG when Data has to remove those people from the Shellyak
Yeah.
than there is in the 4 episodes of this show, and now the 5th.
Also, we kind of need to know why they hate elves so much. That'd be pretty helpful to understand where they're coming
That would
from.
be
but they
really
just-
helpful.
that would be
they
really
just hate elves.
helpful.
And they're trying to make Numenoreans like Trump supporters or whatever.
ears.
So there can't be any reason for their hatred. There is no reason for their hatred. It's like, we just hate elves. I know they're
Speaking
trying
of,
to probably save it for like a
Live
a reveal.
forever. That's why they hate him, by the way.
yeah, they're jealous.
You could
But they
just say
haven't
that at the
developed it.
beginning, but it's a
Yes,
big mystery.
They didn't give us anything. And I know they're trying to leave it for a reveal. Like, oh my goodness, this happened a long time ago. This is why they hate elves. But
No, they're
it'd be
not going to
pretty
reveal
interesting-
it. They've given
they're
us
gonna keep
their
it hidden forever?
explanation, and it's as stupid as it sounds.
Yes. They
But, I
have
mean,
already given us the explanation.
We don't.
They ain't
we
gonna
need
take our germs.
We need a substance. If that's it, that's really dumb. Like
It's really dumb.
it's really stupid.
But, like,
And
I think
also,
we're well established that this show is really dumb. It's really
It really is.
I've
dumb
not
show.
seen once an
This-
elf farmer, not a single elf farmer in anything of this.
This
at
whole
all.
thing really is baby's
Or a
first epic.
bartender. I've only seen warriors and politicians on elves, and it doesn't seem like there's many of those human jobs there anyways. So
well, they sure as hell don't have a mayor in this town. Like,
I
for
mean,
fuck's sakes.
I hate the Numenoreans, but I completely agree with them. The elves are dicks. Screw
Yeah,
them.
they're supposed to be. Like just that's what elves are always. They're always dicks.
Well, speaking of knife years, this kid takes off with the old dude, and I thought it was that was probably the only surprising thing was what happened to him. Like I was like, oh, they killed him off because that fucking
What's the kid?
yeah.
Incel drill. Well, we didn't
Incel,
see it.
yeah, they killed him because that.
I thought they
that
turned him
dude-
into an orc or something.
You didn't think he would die, even though he had a Richard Spencer haircut in middle
White.
No,
white?
because
The moment we saw that he was white, he was
right
dead.
here.
no, I thought that the half elf kid was gonna turn him good and like teach him the error of his ways.
That
No,
was
you
never
gotta
gonna
turn 'em.
happen.
I don't know about good though.
The kid was the whitest one in that town. He was gonna die.
Oh my god!
You notice how
right.
they're covering that kid's ears all the time with that floppy haircut, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's why Script Doctor called it from day one. He said that's his son, and
He's
I
the
was
only
like,
brown
don't
kid
believe
in
it.
town,
Right.
and there's only one black elf, and he's
It
dating
ain't
a
hard to
mom.
figure. It's like, wonder who his dad is.
yeah.
It
And then he
must be a
comes back and
mystery.
he's like, "Why'd you come back?" And he's like, "Because I'm your daddy." Like I was so
Well, it's not-
waiting for him to say
The
that.
archery scene is clearly a father-son type of teaching moment, but it's
It
played out
was.
so terribly.
It was so bad.
But he
Speaking
would
of
be so
fathers and
stupid. He
sons.
doesn't recognize his own kid.
I think he knows. I just think
I
he's
think
trying
he
to.
knows.
He's
Speaking of
he's
that-
doing the Kirk thing. I stayed away. You
But
know,
why is he acting like he's never touched this girl?
Yeah, you can act like you're
He's
like
an elf.
you're practicing restraint all the time around the kid because you unless he just doesn't give a crap.
You think to be sexual
But they
tension
be
there, like
banging.
they have a tension moment, but it's not. They don't have anything. They don't have any chemistry. You almost feel like they're still strangers or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They look like they haven't ever touched each other.
They
but
made
you
the
know they
first
banged.
black male elf a deadbeat dad.
Yeah, he has an actual father. Yeah, way to
Of
go.
course.
They
But we're the
did.
racists because we don't like the show. We're the
Uh-huh.
racists. But they're the ones
They-
that wrote the one guy who's like the black Harfoot. Yeah, he's a leader of a band of thieves apparently. And
Yeah.
the black elf, oh, he's an absent father. So, but we're the
and the
racists.
Black
Who
Queen
they
Regent,
literally
she's imprisoning her
chains.
dad. Elder abuse.
They put him in slavery in the show.
Immediately.
yeah.
by the
Like,
white orcs.
immediately.
By the white
by the Trump
white
orcs.
clan orcs.
in the South.
Oh
Yeah, in the
my
South.
god, in
You know,
the South.
do the writers know the South is the English South is not the same as the American South? Like it's flipped over there. Like in
They-
the South, that's where all the
don't know.
hippie elitists live.
They don't know shit.
The North is where all the country guys live in England. Okay, it's flipped over there.
Same
Yeah.
in Canada to a degree. The
So
further
then a
out
bunch
to
of
the
shit
border you are.
happens with Isildur and that other kid or whatever. I don't know. Fucking, they have a fucking argument about how his son is an idiot, and then he's just like,
Kind of is.
"You should have done something with your life." And that guy's like, "Well, I want to now. Let me go to the army." And he's like, "No, you're useless." And that was pretty
Isildur's
much
friend
it.
is based.
And where did
Like
this
he's
change
like, yeah.
come from? Yeah, you're right, Litra. But like, where did this change come from at all? Like, okay, there's an army going. Great, I want to join. Why?
It's really
You
stupid
just-
because he was part of the army and then he quit because that voice in his head and he's like, oh wait, I got to go back with the army.
Yeah. And then his dad is like, "I thought you were going to the West." And he's like, "I am, but first I have to go with you and do this." And it's like, well, why? The
Think of
voice
the-
didn't tell you to do that.
What attachment do you have to
there's-
the Southlands? Oh,
But there's
none.
no redeeming elements to Isildur. Like he's just a moron. That's it. Also, I do have something to say on that nonsense. So he's going up to that guy, right? That Galadriel's human lackey that she finds in Numenor. Like he just goes up to him. He's like, "Oh, I want to go with this crew." And he's like, "Well, do you have any qualifications? You have this and this and this." Like, no, I don't have any of those. Well, then you shouldn't have rebelled. Like basically, he's telling him you shouldn't have rebelled and you shouldn't have got kicked out of the Sea Guard, which is the exact opposite lesson Galadriel has to learn. Because over there in Galadriel's like, what's his name? Elrond was like, you refuse to heed any limit placed upon you. And that's supposed to be like a girl moment, like a girl power moment. And she's like rewarded by, oh, yeah, well, obviously she's punished. But it's written as if the men are punishing her are wrong. Like Elrond and the king are wrong. And she even says, oh, they conspired against me and everything. But she's right. Like she's right. Oh, Sauron is coming back, and they found evidence of him coming back and everything. So when it's Galadriel, it's about her defying the limits and girl power. You go, girl. But when it's Isildur defying the limits, oh, you shouldn't have done that. You should have been stomped on, and you need to learn to serve and obey. Stupid Isildur.
And then something else happens with girl Isildur, aka his sister.
Yeah, apparently she's in that relationship with that guy now.
Why is she
apparently,
in here?
I guess they're banging now. Like I don't know what the fuck's going on. But
where's Isildur's brother? They keep talking about him, and I think did I give him the right name?
Have they mentioned him?
I think they mentioned a name. I'm like, that's not his name. So
I don't remember them mentioning him at all.
They mentioned his brother twice. Yeah, because his brother wants to go west. And Isildur, because you remember when he's on the boat, you probably don't. You're probably asleep. And that's when he's looking west, and you're supposed to guess he's looking west, and then you hear
Isildur. Yes, I remember that.
And it's like, why is anybody calling him west? He's not supposed to go west. He's not allowed to go west. So I don't even know what the point of that is, and it's only been in twice in 5 episodes. So
I said the sea was calling me to the west, and the sea is always right.
See, that would have been something. Because at least they're using their own shitty dialogue to explain something. That would
have been also something if every time he's on board that ship, he's always facing west, and the captain's like, "Get back to your post," and he's like, "I'm sorry, I just keep getting." Like you have to give us a hint as to why
to the west side.
That there's a habit. You have to show a pattern that he has to then, as a character, has to put together and realize, oh, something is calling me to the west. That's where I'm going to go, and as long as I'm on this boat, I'm going to be going away from that. So I need to leave the boat to figure out why I'm being called to the west. That's a journey story, but we don't get any of the semblance of that. We just get him, staring off into the distance, holding a rope, then lets it go, and then he and 2 other guys who tried to save the ship get ticked off, and that's your story beat.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't really understand what the hell is going on with these two, because she is all of a sudden like anti-elf or something, and she's like, why are we doing this and going to war? Convince your dad to stop this. And I'm like,
why?
War is cool.
Yeah.
War is awesome. Have you seen Lord of the Rings? It's all about war.
But his dad gives him a perfectly reasonable explanation.
Yeah, that was a good explanation.
I'm going to burn a couple ships.
Well, the explanation of the father was basically that there's going to be trades with the West, and I'm not going to stop that. That's basically
so they have been isolationists this whole time,
which makes no sense.
Effing ridiculous.
So they're Wakanda is
basically. They're already supposed to have a pact with Gil-galad. They're already supposed to be trading and accepting tribute, and at first they get along with the lower men, the southern men, and then they start oppressing them. Basically, they start demanding more tributes and becoming bigger dicks. It's not just Ar-Pharazôn who's the dick. Like it was an evolution that led to that. It would have been great to have just a Numenor show, but I mean, it is such a joke. The helmets are all crooked. The armor looks terrible.
Looks like paper mache.
Terrible.
Oh my god, it looks so bad.
If we just had a single location show, we wouldn't be able to have like 10 trillion characters like they have to have in the show for some reason.
I just want to point out that this dude got cucked by yet another female character, because she was like, whatever. She was like, fine, whatever. And then he's like, well, I can't. Like, what am I gonna do? Like, my dad's not gonna listen to me. And she's like, well, then speak louder. And like, he's just like, oh,
be better.
Okay,
be better.
Yeah,
you got to do better. Says Captain America.
So up to 5 episodes. Okay, is one thing I noticed, and I have plenty of evidence to go with this. But the Rings of Power has made a perfect blatant example as to why everyone likes male characters over their weird female characters. It has nothing to do with sexism. It's how they're treated. It goes way back to traditional storytelling. With the if you look at the hero's journey, what's it all about? It's about a young person with no skills, overcoming obstacles, failing, overcoming their own flaws, facing down their own weaknesses, and coming to terms with their weaknesses and getting stronger. And then finally, they're able to have grown strong enough to defeat the dragon, like Luke Skywalker versus Darth Vader. Now, if you look at every single male character here, like Halbrand or Isildur, what happens to them? They get constantly stepped on, constantly humbled,
all the time.
Like, and to The very point is they all have to endure humiliation and they have to endure loss, and they don't get to immediately come back and fight back and then prove that their weakness or the loss was inconsequential. So what I mean by that is, Luke Skywalker, for example, like he gets beaten by the Sand People, like the whatever they're called, whatever the political term is now.
Tuskens.
Yeah, the Tuskens.
Sand people.
Yeah. But he gets beaten, right? And he gets knocked out and they start robbing him. He didn't like get beaten and then immediately retaliate and punch them all out and won the day because he's so awesome and super special cool. No, he has to be saved by old Ben Kenobi at that time.
A more experienced man.
Yeah, exactly. A mentor, you could say. It's Isildur, right? What happens? He tries to do that thing where he gets kicked off the Sea Guard, and he gets kicked off. He's humiliated. He gets his friends in trouble. They get kicked off. So every single one of these male characters they're like from Halbrand to Isildur to everyone. They all get stomped on. They all get punished. They all get faced with their own weaknesses, their own flaws. And they have to deal with it, and they have to grow from that. So what do we get with the female characters? They're all super special, awesome, and perfect.
They're great.
The thing is, the writing backfires. They're trying to make these female characters awesome and special. And these are little girls can look at these characters and they're them. But it's backfiring because we don't like heroes who are just awesome and perfect. That's how they perceive. Of course, that's how they perceive male heroes and traditionally. Like, these male heroes are really good and awesome and powerful. It's not how it works. Okay, no one wants to see a character who's just super special, awesome right from the get-go. That's not really all that interesting. Like, unless the construction is correct, where you have like a John Wick who's already pretty awesome, already a master of his craft, but then they go after the entire high table or something. But here,
also they're exploring aspects of his flaws and also giving him different challenges.
Exactly.
And he's one man against a world. And the other part too is if you make your character too perfect, and this is what's being often complained with Superman, is that they say, well, there's nowhere to take the character. They're already perfect at the end game. It's like, well, no, it's not. You're conflating what they can do with who they are, and the journey is about who they are, and the stuff that they learn to do develops who they are. And we're getting that. Yes, you're absolutely right. We're getting that with a lot of the male characters. With the female characters, it's the exact opposite. You're
exactly. That's why I'm saying
very pointed observation.
That's why I'm saying it backfires. The writing backfires because they're trying to demonize and show men as stupid imbeciles, while they're showing all the women as these perfect icons of heroism. But the worse they treat the male characters, the more they're humiliated, the more they have room to grow, the more people like them. So they're going to start liking the male characters more than the super special, awesome female characters. And instead of realizing that it's because of the writing, it's because we traditionally, going back thousands of years beyond social status, beyond culture, we've all liked heroes who struggle and overcome obstacles, from the Greeks to the Mesopotamians, everything. We always like this character.
To the underdogs.
The one that struggles. Exactly. The one that climbs, because that's what we go through in real life. We don't start off super special awesome. We got to learn our own skills or attain our own knowledge. Climb up the ladder, so to speak.
Hercules didn't retain his strength until he completed the 10 challenges by Zeus.
Yeah, exactly. We had to go through our own labors. Yeah. So the worse they treat these male characters, the more we're going to like them, and then the more the better they write the female characters as super special, awesome, and perfect from the get-go, the less we find them interesting. But they're not going to realize that. They're going to realize, our writing is just awful. They're going to just call us sexist. Because you all like the men, well, you don't like the women because you're sexist. That's not how it works at all.
That is not how it works. Real quick, let me get this super chat. Thank you so much, Britt Cormier, for $50. It's very generous of you. Did everyone notice that it was because of Gil-galad sent Galadriel that she was in the ocean to set up her meeting with Sauron? His statement comes true. She brings back Sauron. It is his fault. Sauron is back. The writers are going to blame him. Oh my God!
Well, yeah, he's a man.
Not true.
It has to be a man's fault
about that.
And to follow up with what you were saying just a minute ago, the problem is that these men are not going to be allowed any growth or development. That's why I think, at least for me, I still can never stand when they do this with the male and the female characters, because they don't allow them to grow. They don't allow either one of them any room to grow. They just continue to bash and diminish and degrade and erode everything that could possibly be positive about the male characters, and continue to protect and uplift and elevate the female characters, because no matter what they do, it's always perfect.
Yep. And I mean, this was perhaps the episode to show that too, with regards to women being perfect, because I mean, did you guys see that freaking battle scene with Galadriel? Like, holy shit! Like when she was like training.
They would turn out any other way than just a scene to make her look awesome and for her to fight all these people and to humiliate all the men that she was fighting. There was no other outcome for that fight. Like they're really going to have her lose or something. Like, nah.
Dude,
No,
at least they got him to cut her shirt. I was like,
yeah,
wow, okay.
One guy cut her shirt, but she was fighting off 6 people, but they were only attacking her 2 at a time. And it's like, well, no, you just made it less impressive because you have 4 people waiting in the wings to attack when they have several openings to do so. When the only goal is just cut her a little.
They did attack her once, like 4 or 5 of them, and she stopped them all with her sword in the most incorrect way possible. And then that's when she got cut. I was like, what is happening? But my God, that whole scene was so ridiculous, from the dialogue to like stick him with the pointy end. Isn't that what freaking Arya said? Like in Game of Thrones, like that was Jon Snow's line to her, like have to learn how to use the sword to stick him with the pointy end.
Stick him with the pointy end.
I was like, okay, well, that's the line from Game of Thrones. And then
They're
twist.
Her lesson is stab him. That's how you kill orcs. You stab them with the sword. Oh, thanks, Galadriel. I'm glad you were here for give us.
But also, you have to use finesse. Like she's trying to say, like, you cannot use like brute strength against an orc or whatever. So she's trying to say, I have finesse. That's what the writers are trying to get across. But that's not how things have looked so far. Like it looks like Galadriel is literally the strongest person in this world. Like you cannot stop her.
She doesn't even teach him finesse. She's like, hey, stab. And then, okay, now fight me.
Oh my God. She spanked one of them with the sword. I was like,
tell them to keep moving.
Yeah.
There was that.
Ash from Army of Darkness taught those soldiers how to fight better than Galadriel did in this thing. Because all she is like, you just come at me and I'm going to defend you. Well, that's you practicing your skill. That's not you helping them with theirs.
It's just a way to make her look awesome. And I was reminded of that training scene in Ip Man. Like he doesn't fight anybody. He doesn't go over there and say, okay, here's how you fight. Now come at me and fight me. No, he was teaching them like a mentor would. And then he's like showing them techniques and methods and ways to fight and everything. And then they would spar with each other, not him. Like he might have a guy up there and use him as an example as to how to slowly do it. He does this like in 1 and 2. So, but he doesn't like, okay, come fight me. And he fights them all and beats them all up. Because that's just the way to ingratiate himself. Galadriel's fight was not her teaching anybody. Galadriel's fight was like, okay, here's how to stab somebody. Stab him. And then, okay, now come fight me. Like she didn't teach him anything at all.
They had a better fight training scene in Twilight.
Oh my
God. I haven't even seen Twilight, but I would believe it.
I really did.
You're right, because I've seen that terrible movie, and you're fucking right. I hate that movie, but you're right about that, Jane.
By the way, if you want to show this video that I found, I have a set to one of them. When men fight back, it's like what happens in reality,
Okay, real quick before we play that, I just want to note that this is the only other time, other than the horse riding bit, where we've seen her smile.
And when she's humiliating men. Yeah,
when she's humiliating men. That's right.
She's happiest when she's fighting.
For some reason. That's totally Galadriel from the movie. Check this out.
Marines are a different kind of beast. They really do train harder, are tested harder, and some might say, take a hit harder. Just like this lady here. Once matched up with a male counterpart, she stepped in and stood her ground. But then he decided to plant her tush on that same ground.
Damn.
And they're on even ground. It's not like a civilian versus Marine guy. They're both Marines. They're both in the same unit, or they both have this training and everything.
Yeah.
So this is what happens when in reality. I know she's an elf and everything, but this is kind of like what it looks like when you have like an actual fight going on.
Numenoreans stand their ground with elves.
They should,
absolutely,
right? Yeah.
Yeah. Aren't they supposed to be like the best fighters in the world? These
like-
people are
They are
nothing.
Proto men, but they're descended from the proto men, and they're pretty freaking powerful.
Well, they're not. They're like,
The ones that are going to be going on this voyage aren't. Yeah.
I think I can fight better than what the fuck those people were doing. I don't know what's going
Smirk
on.
alert.
Yes, smirk alert. I'm about to rape you.
And why is all this happening in the town square?
Yep.
Yeah, that poor shop owner. He has to get a new awning and a new support beam and probably replace those damaged pots that he had.
Oh my god, I don't know, but by the way, we did skip through some stuff. So before this happened,
do stuff now.
before this happened, they had a meeting. Well, where Halbrand showed up, and they were like, "Why aren't you wanting to go west?" And he's like, "I don't need to go west. Fuck you guys." And then he basically laughed.
I'm gonna make my daggers.
Yeah, I'm gonna go make my daggers. And then she was like, "You need to do it." And what? Who cares? And then
no, he's like, "Why do you keep fighting?" It was such a soap opera scene. She's like, "Because I can't stop. Vengeance is the only reason."
No, this is not that scene, Gary. That was after. This is.
Oh, is this the one where you used me, I used you?
Yeah, that's this one. That's that's when she's putting him down, and she's all like, I used you, you used me, we used each other, but not in a good way, blah 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 blah.
Yeah, if you guys would have gotten it on at this point, it would have been something.
I mean, there's a table right there. There's nothing stopping them.
Not even her husband, who she's
yeah, because
she hasn't seen in like 1,000 years.
Oh my god!
Apparently, she like just out of her memory completely. She's just fixated on one brother, brother.
That reminds me of a girl I dated once, like a few weeks after the Force Awakens came out, and all she would talk about is how close she was to her brother. I'm like, I'm getting out of here because you clearly have it in for your brother.
Have you noticed that they did not? Yeah, they haven't
named him.
They haven't said the name of the brother or the king.
No,
like this would be the perfect opportunity because they're talking about her brother, her motivation as to why she's so hungry for vengeance, and he's like, "My brother died." Okay,
this isn't that scene. That's later, but yes,
later. But I mean, during that scene, she's like, "My brother died." That's why she's explaining the dagger. But that would be the perfect opportunity to actually name him for the first time in 5 episodes. They never ever named him. You have to look up in the credits what his name is.
Yeah,
they said Galadriel how many times in the last 5 episodes?
8 trillion times.
So many times. But
Galadriel.
Actually, it's a Galadriel. Galadriel, be a field death.
Galadriel.
The problem is that he died a hero, and they can't give him that.
I learned from Twitter that if you can roll your tongue, you are more qualified to talk about Tolkien than anyone who's ever read it.
Oh my god, that would be me because I can roll my eyes like nobody's business.
Numenor.
There
should be just a guy just named. Might as well.
Hello, my name is. What's okay? So by the way, I still like this is the stupidest, dumbest thing ever because they're like, we think you're king because you had this thing on you, and it's like, well, he could have just picked it up from anybody.
Off a dead guy. He shape shifted into a dead guy.
Yeah, I mean, he could have just robbed a grave.
He's totally effing Sauron.
When Anakin Skywalker has a more logical reason why Qui-Gon has a lightsaber.
Honestly, yes.
And then we finally catch up with the Harfoots, who finally catch up with the fucking tribe that is somehow around now. And this woman is telling the leader of the Harfoots to leave them behind.
Kill them.
Surprise, surprise. Why are they still with us? I thought we left them behind like hours ago. People are getting hungry. Let's eat them.
Let them die because they might get somebody killed. Okay.
Just let them die. I mean, power of the strongest. Like, isn't that how they work? Like, you can't keep up, you get left behind.
It's strange that it's the woman saying this and not the cruel patriarchal man.
Right? I was surprised about that. Well,
she's telling him what to do. Like those 3 women tell him what to do. Like he'll sometimes he'll tell him to go away, but he takes their advice, and he even says like, "What am I supposed to do?"
He takes it from them all the time, Gary. It's true.
I'm sure he does, but not. He doesn't take a bath.
Well, they're Harfoots. I think they're allergic to water.
It might be.
And then a bunch of these things show up and attack everybody there. And
they're called wolves, not wargs.
This is a wolf.
It's a wolf.
It's like wolves in Elden Ring. Is it corrupted by evil or something?
Okay.
It's
Well,
a
these wolf
wolf
things
with an anteater type
show
head,
up.
or an
Yeah,
armor
they
type
look
head.
like
They're
anteaters.
kind of cute.
No, Jane, you and I have very different points of views about cute.
Yeah, right.
Oh,
Do you see like boars running around going, "Oh, look at that cute boar, that giant boar running around."
what the fuck, Jane? But yeah, so then Gandalf stops them with some sort of force push, and you're like, okay, well, I mean, Gandalf is doing things, I guess. And then he gets injured though because of the force push. And then later on, we catch up with him where he's doing some sort of weird spell in some sort of ice.
He's
Or no,
bathing,
not
which
ice.
is something very foreign to the Harfoots. And the one Harfoot tries to take his arm out of the water, which is
By
ice,
touching him exactly there. It's like,
Yeah,
why
I
don't you
know.
shake
Let me
his
touch
head
the
or
ice.
something?
Why are
You
you
see
putting your
something
body
weird
in
coming
this
from a guy, you
water-like
don't touch him.
substance? Yeah. No.
Something weird's happening. I'm gonna touch this weird thing. No.
Yeah, because she like this
Stupid.
is literally the scene, and I guess he's trying to heal it with the ice or whatever, and she can like shake him here. She can go on this side, shake him on this hand, maybe I don't know. Like this whole side seems to be okay, but she
Or
goes right here.
she could leave him alone. Leave the
Yeah.
man alone.
Just like
And
a
then she
woman.
sees
Just
her
can't let a
hand
man
clean.
have his own privacy. I mean, come on.
And then she sees her hand clean for the very first time since she was
It's
born.
like, what the hell?
What is
And she
that?
hates it, so she runs away from him. Like, oh, you
Look at this
cleaned me.
liquid substance.
What
Put
is
your
this
hand in.
cleanliness? How did you do that? That's why she ran away from him for the first time because she was like, "Oh my god."
You know
Being
how like
clean.
the dwarves have pride in growing like larger and larger beards. I'm pretty sure the Harfoots have pride in getting dirtier and dirtier. It's like you shave a
Mm.
dwarf's beard. Oh man, he's your enemy for life. You clean a Harfoot, yeah. Now it's time to abandon him because you cleaned her.
Kind of like the
How dare
hippies I
you.
met at dead shows. I mean, it's a lot like the hippies I met at dead shows.
Oh no. Yeah, so see, if you don't believe us, here's the picture. She touched him exactly at that spot and then, gets all surprised when bad things happen. Which, by the way, when he did the weird thing and then that thing exploded, that should have blown her entire hand off. Like, there's no
she'd lose a
way.
hand.
I was hoping like she lost a hand. Consequences for once. but,
Consequences, yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
I
not really
thought
sure if
that
she
she
did.
would, but she didn't.
She didn't. It's like normal. It's like perfectly fine.
Someone would carve her a wooden hand like how
It
Carl
didn't even get injured.
Carl Douglas had in Happy Gilmore or something. Or, sorry,
She
Carl
didn't
Weathers.
even have a cut. Like that thing exploded with the ice and everything, and she didn't even have a cut. Like, so she's looking at her hand, like, oh my god, what
But she has a lot
happened?
of hit points.
Yeah.
I know. And it was fine. Whatever. She was fine. But then she ran away from Gandalf because for the first time she realized that Gandalf is fucked up. And then Gandalf looks at his hand and then does some sort of weird breathing thing, which makes the trees go all weird again. And then you're like, okay, whatever.
It's a really good
and-
thing she's a girl in this show, or else something something bad might have actually happened.
Mm-hmm.
yeah. And then we go to the next scene, which is the dinner scene with the elves and Durin and the king. And then Durin makes some sort of fucking, like, I don't know, some story up about how that table is like you get it only at the depths of the mountains. And
Oh yeah,
I don't know, some
It's to honor
bullshit like
the
that.
dead.
I don't know. Durin and Disa, they both are the saving grace for this show for me. Like, okay, as soon as they come on screen, I'm like, okay, now there's something I can.
I'm
probably
interested a little
tolerate.
bit. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure
Disa-
Brimbor would know where that stone came from.
I'm pretty sure he would. I'm pretty sure
I'm-
like he's lying. I'm pretty sure like Celeborn was like, oh yeah, you're lying to me. But we need a good
The
jest.
king's being a dick right now, so I'm going to be on your side.
Yeah.
The king is written as a dick all the time. He has a mullet. That's how you know he's going to always be a dick.
It's true. It's that
You
mullet.
notice the women in that scene didn't say a word.
No, they didn't.
I've
They
never
don't.
been at a dinner where women didn't say a word and no one was actually like in trouble for it.
It's
Yeah.
so unbelievable.
And all the women cleared the table, which was cool. I was like, all right, well, at least the elves, the women work in the kitchen.
Is that going to be like a thing to segue into all the elves live in an oppressive society? They have all the
See,
women doing
look.
the housework.
It's all the women, and their faces
covered.
covered.
In white veils, yeah.
Burkas.
They're like Persians.
Mm.
All right, well, that's it.
I
And
wish
then they
this-
have
I
a
wish this-
conversation, another one.
I still
about
wish this Celebrimbor was the Celebrimbor from the games. He was way cooler.
Yeah, this one is not cool.
this is very gay.
I saw your father. That's how he said.
We haven't even gotten there yet because
You
now
look
the
just
king
like
is going to have a conversation with Femrond and talk about the origin of Mithril, which is some weird story about how some elf fought the Morgoth through a tree, and then their light went into the tree, and then a lightning hit it, and then that made it so that their battle is
It wasn't a well-told story between the elves and the
It was the stupidest thing I've ever heard.
Like the light of the Eldar got put in the tree by the elf who had the heart of Manwë, and then it got struck by lightning, and they just wanted to put a Balrog in the scene.
Yeah, because he put his light in. Hello. This thing put his fire in. Hello.
Just double teaming this.
And then the lightning hit.
Arbor
and then
abuse.
Somehow the tree became magic and then went into the earth, and that became Mithril. So
even here in the ancient poems, the man still can't win. Like it has to be the lightning has to come in and solve it for him. It still can't. Even their legends, their men can't win. Like even then,
the elements had to
Balrog
intervene.
was female, I'm sure.
Oh my god!
I'm pretty sure it's like setting up the Balrog, in the mountain, because that's where like, oh, he fell into the mountain, so that the ones they're gonna find later.
Probably
somehow.
Real quick, let me get a couple of these super chats. First of all, thank you so much, Scott McKenzie and Nebraska, because for gifting memberships to the chat. You guys are awesome. And also, Scott sent a $10 super chat to say, besides the incoherent story and the exposition in this episode, they have departed so far from the books.
Departed would be if they were there at some point. So yeah, like they started out departed, and it's just Easter eggs. That's all it is. It's member berries, Easter eggs, and then everything else is original
and trailer fodder.
Yeah.
It's like a divorced woman finding out she only got scraps and is now gonna just destroy the scraps. That's pretty bad.
I will destroy everything and burn your clothes. Taker610, thank you for the 5, says Adar has to explain that the leader of the enemy, an elf, his old friend from uni who listened to a little too much 9 Inch Nails. Oh my gosh. The Uba Geek for 5 says, Gary, isn't the next episode meant to be a replica of the Battle of Helm's Deep, like shot for shot? Is that true?
They're gonna try. Well, that's what it's meant to look like. They're held up in a fortress, and a bunch of orcs are marching on them. And it's got a tower.
It's actually gonna have a battle.
Tower.
Actually, it's got 2 towers, kind of.
Yeah,
there's 2 towers. There it is.
There's gonna be.
That's right.
Basically one battle. So it's starts there, and then the Numenoreans and Galadriel arrives, and then they fight. They're victorious, and then
is Galadriel going to be on a horse like Gandalf the White coming in with the reinforcements?
She's going to be on a horse. She's going to be. I don't know where they put the horses as.
Yeah, they had 3 ships. I was like,
and they all have horses.
And the one with the recruit did not have horses. So
did you guys see how they put the horses that they did have on the boats? I died laughing at that. Did you see that, Carrie?
Mm-hmm.
They had them like hanging with ropes in the air and transporting them into the fucking boat. I was like, dude, that is not what happens with horses. They have their own places, they have their own cages, and they walk. They walk inside. Like what? No.
Is that how the men get on too? Do they carry him up?
Like cargo? That'd be funny. It'd be funny to see them in all harnesses, everybody just get in the harness, get hooked over.
You know what happened? They made the entire effect scene, and they went, we forgot the horses.
We forgot the horses. That's what happened.
So let's just put one hanging in the air.
Oh, I think it's worse. I think they did the effects, they did the scene, they went on with it. Then they saw the next episode where it's like, there's horses here. They didn't give us notes that there's horses in Numenor. We got to go back and add horses to Numenor.
Oh
it's something like that.
It has to be. I'm trying to find that scene because I died laughing. I was like, what is that horse just hanging there?
Don't be under the horse when they're moving it because you will get beat or crapped on.
Oh my God. Do you guys remember how in Lord of the Rings, like the actual Lord of the Rings, there was like all this backlash about horse abuse? I laughed about that.
Like, is it with Braveheart? Is it where they're in that one pike scene where they stab all the horses? I remember why the stone sinks and the ship floats. I remember that.
Why? No, I'm just joking.
It's this Elven world word called buoyancy.
I should have taken down the minutes
because it was made to float. That's why.
Oh my god! Why can't I pinpoint this horse?
The horses swam.
I can't get it. That sucks. Whatever.
There's a secondary paddle boat for all the horses to just put their hooves in and just chug along after the boats.
You guys would like Galadriel if she were a man. You're all just sexist.
So after the dinner, and telling that story, Albrond or Femrond and the king still have a chat, and then the king tells him, "Well, I found out our trees got AIDS, and I sent Galadriel away because of the AIDS, and I thought, if she went away, maybe the AIDS would go away, but it didn't." And that's basically what happened. Yep. And then he saw the AIDS, and he was like, "Oh no, the trees got monkeypox."
And they're gonna make the Mithril the vaccine.
Vaccination, yeah.
Oh my god. Oh fuck! I didn't even.
Everybody's got to get the Mithril.
Because like we need Mithril, and it's like, oh, whose hands is the future of the elves in? Oh, Durin's hands. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Oh, that's
like
right.
They need the Mithril, or else they're going to
politicians and Big Pharma. Whose world's in your hands?
Apparently, Durin's Big Pharma.
Oh no! This
whoever
goes
doesn't
way too on the fucking nose.
Whoever doesn't take the Pfizer Mithril vaccine, they're going to turn to orcs or something.
Yeah.
Oh my god. It's probably true. That's probably what that black shit is that those sheep fucking ate, that they started to
orc juice.
Yeah, it's orc juice. It's orc juice.
Wait till some other elf finds the ivermectin equivalent to Mithril and tries to push that, but then gets rejected out.
No, it's fake. It's fake.
Canceled.
That's horse paste.
I want a Alex Jones dwarf. No, they turn the freaking frog guy. Turn the
He's like an Alex Jones in Numenor. He's like the town crier.
Oh my god!
Info Lord of the Rings wars.
Don't listen to him.
Oh my god!
Numenorean's gay.
And then the next scene, we catch up back with privileged white boy Isildur, where he's having a chat with his person of color friend. And he's all, "I'm not going to take you on this mission because you don't deserve it." And then he punches him a couple times, and he still tells him, "You still don't deserve it, even though I punched you." And that's pretty much it. And then Isildur gets mad, and he goes on a ship to try and
stow away.
He was stowing away.
Oh, yeah. He was stowing away. That's right.
Also,
and then he runs into that other guy that was the other guy's son.
Yeah.
Isildur's friend was based he doesn't deserve it. He's just been a moron since the time he was introduced into the show. He's been an idiot. There's no reason why he should stick his neck out for Isildur at this point.
Absolutely, yeah.
Absolutely none. And of course Isildur deserves 3 punches, by the way, not just 2. He should have okay, fine, 3. They might as well.
But then he says it felt like 3, and I'm like, well, you did fall to the ground. That's your 3rd hit.
That's true.
Should have punched him a 3rd time. I was waiting for him to punch him again, after he thought it was over.
Yeah,
I was hoping he'd kick him in the balls. That didn't happen.
Those were good punches, though, too. His friend did not hold back. I mean, he punched him once. He fell into the air. He jumped into the air. It was great. Yeah, I wanted to hit him a 4th time.
And then we find out this guy's an incel too, because he's trying to burn down the boats now. Because his dad told him that he's not going to help him stop the army from going to the south.
No, because his plan is to use this as a political tactic so that the elves will be subservient to them in the future. That's the goal, I think. Was I getting that right?
The one elf that's there.
Doesn't that make him a simp instead of an incel? Because he's I want to do this so that girl will fall in love with me.
I don't even know.
Hey, that's true.
That is true.
Both. Because he's doing it for the girl. He doesn't really give a fuck. He's just doing it to get some puss.
He's still an anarchist, though. I mean,
she's the best looking girl in the cast, so
somehow though the fucking boat blows up.
How did this happen?
They don't have gunpowder in Middle Earth, do they?
No.
They do now.
Yeah.
I was surprised because it looked like oil, not gunpowder.
It was a bunch of liquor and fucking fire.
What kerosene
that would just burn. It's not combustible.
I usually thought it would burn. Pressure. I thought that was
Maybe it was
oil or something, so I thought it
kerosene.
would burn because that would burn, but I don't think it would explode that magnificently. Like what?
No.
Yeah.
Let's think of like a dwarven ale or something like that. I don't
It
know.
needs some sort of pressure or something to
Combustion.
contain it so that gases can build and then ignite instantly. But that doesn't happen with a fire of that nature unless there's something far more volatile on board, and we don't know of any volatile like materials of that nature in this fantasy, like especially in this time period.
We know nothing about anything in this fucking show because nothing makes sense.
I mean, if they have something that great explosion, it's like catapults right there. Put that stuff on the catapult, light it up, throw it, boom, you got a grenade essentially on the battlefield.
But even after these boats are destroyed, they just leave with 3 boats. Like you don't have any more.
Yeah, they just left with 3
I
boats.
just don't.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll be fine taking on that legion of orcs. I mean, just fight them during the day.
It's like 1910s Britain only having 3 ships to their navy, and it's like you're an island nation. You should have nothing but boats all the time.
Do they really need 500 soldiers? They have Galadriel. She just walk
no,
in there
they
and kill
don't.
them all.
Oh, and when Muriel starts fighting, I'm sure she's just gonna be.
Oh, she's gonna rape everyone. Speaking of raping everyone, House of Dragons on soon, and I know that you have to go, Gary.
I have to eat dinner and get ready for the show.
No worries. Thank you so much
Yeah, the
for
good one.
coming by today. The
Hopefully
good
it's
one,
good.
yeah. Oh my gosh.
Allison Hightower's a Trump, a girl Trump.
Oh.
Yeah, they said she was like a girl for Trump. I was like, okay. What?
It actually wasn't her who said it. It was Miguel Sapochnik who said it, and he's gone. So that might be good. We'll find out. Tonight's the big night where they change 2 major actors, and we'll see if we still like them.
Oh, okay. I'll take your word
Thanks
for
for
it.
me on. Sorry, it wasn't longer.
Of course. No. Thank you
I'll
so
come
much
back.
for coming by. It was awesome to chat
Great
with
talking to
you.
y'all.
And like, I think it's in like about 2 hours, you're going to have your stream, right? For House of Dragon.
Yeah, about 2
Okay.
hours.
So if you guys are into House of Dragon, you're watching it, you want to go hear the reviews and talks, go to Gary's channel, Nerdrotic. He's going to be chatting with who are you chatting with tonight?
We got Mahler, we got Shad, and I think Fringy is coming on. So
Okay.
Fringy's coming
So
on.
there you go. Everybody check out
Fringy's back.
Gary. If you have anything else you want to plug, Gary, go for it.
I released a video today, and I'm tired. I got a Marvel one coming in a couple days. I got a She-Hulk one. It's been so long since I talked about Marvel. It's been like a month. So
Oh my God, She-Hulk.
I was
Oh, no.
inspired by all the morons on Twitter. They just inspired me to make a video.
That's amazing. Okay, well, I'll see you probably Tuesday.
See you Tuesday. Bye, everyone.
Bye, everybody.
Good talking to y'all.
Bye.
Take care. Bye, chat.
That was Gary, everybody. Yay, Gary. If you're again, if you're interested in House of Dragon, if you're watching it, you're wanting to go to his channel and talk about it afterwards, it's the place to be. So there you go. And let me get a couple more of these super chats. Russell Hall for 2 says Don Lemon isn't interested because he's festive. Hello. Marby Dog for 5 says Black Elves can't swim. The sea is always right. Wow. I didn't say that. Marby said that. Varan
This one's Puerto Rican, so he's from an island.
Hey, that's true. That's true. Varan for $7.99 says, if this show is utterly destroyed and it looks like it will be, what does this mean for season 2? Do they appease us or double down? Well, I'm afraid to tell you this, Varan, but this show has been greenlit for 5 seasons. So I don't know what's going to happen with season 2. My bet is that it's going to double down.
Well, it's quadrupled down technically because
they always double down.
Yeah. But then I've heard rumors also that Bezos is not happy with the reception of this season. So
they made it good. I don't know.
Hey, maybe he'll like pull a Zaslav and be like, you know what? Fuck all of you.
Start
this
hacking.
show sucks. Yeah.
So if he does
get your Zaslav hatchet, start hatcheting away.
Yeah, exactly. Zaslav the butcher. If Bezos does it, Bezos could be the butcher, and it'd be great if he did. But the people that were involved in the show get paid out for that full 5 seasons, and he gets nothing anymore. I would be surprised if he says, oh, guess what? We're not releasing season 2. We're going to go back and we're going to remake it and try and start and make something different for the next 4 seasons and play out the contract, because there can be extended breaks between seasons for a streaming show. They don't have to be yearly. So, and he can do that and not have to break his contract. Heck, you know what he could do, which would actually be a real pain in the ass. He could put season 2 on hold indefinitely and technically not be broken of contract.
That would be amazing. It's like it'll be stuck in like limbo forever.
Yeah, because he could just say, we're going to do it. We're just going to schedule it down the road. And he can actually set scheduled dates to not actually ruin the terms of the contract. But he could always change that later on if he so wanted to. So if he said, oh, yeah, we're not releasing season 2 until December 2023. And then November hits, he's like, you know what? Season 2 is still not ready. It's not to the quality we want for Amazon. So we're going to push it back another year.
Yeah,
and
I mean, I could see it.
There may be developments and little exchanges of money in between then. But he's slowly distancing himself away from this terrible 50% done first season.
I see it, but I also seeing all of them just doubling down and just going forward with this trash that we've gotten. So
it's basically the battered wife syndrome. I can change it or change him.
Yeah. The Uber Geek for 5 says they are portraying the fake sister as Kingsman. And even though she's fake, I can't tell you how being Elendil's daughter, that's a problem. Well, I mean, there's so many problems with this, with her. Even like, I mean, it makes no sense for Elendil to have a daughter.
I'm just confused as to what they're gonna do with her. Like, is she going to die?
I'm guessing she's gonna sacrifice herself for someone because she's amazing. And then,
I mean, Isildur's sister.
Yeah.
My guess is that she's going to actually, the part where we get to the War of the Ring, and Isildur is going to go off to war. It's going to be her who dresses up in the armor, and it's going to be the same thing. And they're going to link it to the death of the Witch King. It's like, oh, no man can kill me. And he's like, I am no man, and she kills him. And it's going to be linked to that. Oh, look at this! See, in the original lore, they had this lady kill him, so that only women can kill these guys.
You think they're going to take that away from Éowyn? I will riot.
No. They're going to have her do that. Éowyn still kills the Witch King, but it's going to be, they're going to link it back to, oh, look, only women can kill like the ring wraiths, and therefore only women can kill Sauron. So it wasn't Isildur, it was Isildur's sister. She was just wearing his armor, and he took credit. That's my
maybe, and Isildur is the real parent of the Strider and all those the legacy characters. That's what they're say.
I mean, they're so abusive to the lore, they might as well at this point.
I hate all of this so much. But then, so the ship blows up. Isildur rescues the weird simp guy. Lies
the dude that's
to
going to be
his
banging
father.
his sister, oddly enough.
That's true, yeah, because they're going to bang for sure. And I don't think Isildur knows what the fuck's going on. But he lied to his daddy. He was like, yeah, he was just, in a fishing boat in the middle of the fucking night in the water. And I rescued him. And the dad's like, oh, okay, no problem.
Yeah, we fish at night.
Even though it makes complete sense, like for the fucking politician's son to be out fishing in the middle of the fucking night. But okay. And then we go back to the throne room, meeting room, or whatever, the war room. And they're
first logical statement right here. Perhaps we did act in haste.
Where are the military leaders?
They're right there. The woman right in there. That's the military leader.
My favorite part about this scene right here is this right here, where they're both. This sums up the Rings of Power in such a good way. Both women are looking at the only man there who actually has any say in this council with complete scorn and disgust. Look at him.
Look at their faces. Like, look at her and her.
How dare you be here with a penis?
And this dude is like somewhere off to the side, and no one cares about him.
He's not any power. He's just kind of just staying there, like he's a guard or something. I know that guy's an actual character, but he's not actually there at the table saying things. Like he's there to be like
he's always just
there. Yeah. The funny part is the queen is more interested in what Halbrand, some rando dude that just showed up, has to say than that dude who's like the Numenorean, like, whatever, like the general. I don't know.
They have a lot of random characters in here. They're like wearing rags and stuff like that. Like, they're just like, here's a guy in rags. Here's another guy in another rags. There's a boy in rags. Like, there's a bunch of like these characters in random rags that is kind of add in here. Like, they got Halbrand. They got that guy with that kid with the blade. Like, and they have the Harfoots. They're all wearing rags. Like everyone is just so common and normal looking that they just came out of nowhere.
Dude,
Like this is
her
kind of like
dress.
some friends D&D character just kind of add in, and then every once in a while they join for a game or something.
It's strange because they're basically, you have the humans and the Numenoreans saying, "Oh yeah, the elves are going to steal our jobs," and it's like, well, there's clearly a shortage of tailors. So if everybody's wearing rags, so why don't they just become tailors and seamstresses?
Yeah, like all the Numenoreans are wearing rags. Like I thought they're supposed to be like this heightened, enlightened
This
people.
dress looks like absolute garbage. Like I don't know what this
on the wall
is.
to behind her that were just ripped up and
yeah, it kind of does look like that.
It does look like that. Oh my god.
They're getting all of their fabric from Walmart. That's what it is.
It's not even Target, Jane. It's fucking Walmart. They got, dude, she's wearing like something like, I don't know, you know, the thing that like ballerinas wear or something to like suppress having boobs. I mean, I used to do that when I was like tomboy and I didn't want to have boobs and I would tape my boobs. That's what it seems like they're doing to her. They're like, you can't have breasts because we need you to look like a man. So that's happening. Yeah, they have more conversation. The queen wants Halbrand. She's like, why isn't Halbrand here? I need to suck. I mean,
I think every woman likes Halbrand because he's got that perfect median thing of being a Chad and then being a simp. Like he's kind of perfectly in between. Like he's handsome.
He's in between, all right.
But he's willing to serve and submit himself to women.
But I mean, you've decided to take your entire nation to war in a foreign land.
Based on a foreign influence.
Based on the right. And you don't even know if this guy who you want to crown has what it takes to be king, is reliable enough to be a king, is loyal enough for you to be king.
Is entitled for the kingdom based on the rules of king.
Nothing.
Monarchy.
Do they already have a king over there? Who knows?
Yeah.
They don't even know who he actually is. He just picked up a fucking seal from a dead body, and they like Galadriel's like based her entire life story on that. It's like such a projection.
She's based everything on assumptions. That is her conviction. It's all based on assumptions. No facts.
No facts.
Nothing to corroborate any of her ideas or conjecture. It's just I assume Sauron is still there, so I'm going to go after him. I'm assuming this guy's.
And she says that, script doctor. She says that because they're like, well, why do you do this or whatever? And she's like, because I feel it. And it's like, that's not really a reason to do
When was the last time you drank?
Facts don't care about your feelings, sweetheart.
Yeah, like Jesus Christ.
Are you sure that's not indigestion? Because you did say you had a tempest in you the other day.
Got tempest. I just ate some like Numenorean Taco Bell. Tempest time.
Speaking of feeling things,
what happened to logic and facts?
This.
I am not gay. I have relationships with women, sex with men.
And I got news for you. That means you're gay.
He didn't know that.
I had to play that because the next scene was the gay scene between fucking Femrond and
Durin?
Yeah.
Durin?
No,
Celebrimbor,
right?
Oh, Celebrimbor.
This thing bothered me because essentially Femdor broke his oath because he told this guy about the Mithril.
Yes. He did.
He broke his oath there. Then he's like, "Oh, maybe should I break my oath, Celebrimbor?" Well, I mean, you just did.
He just
did it once.
But the thing is, they already know about it.
Also, it does really, now that you mention it, it does really feel like Celebrimbor is an older gay man trying to prey upon Elrond. I know because this happened to me before.
Oh my god, this has turned into a Me Too stream.
I have had an older gay man try to pick me up this way. It really feels this way. So like, oh man, this really does feel like the older gay guy. Yeah.
I mean, it's weird that they're both adults, but are they still? When does an elf become an adult since they live for thousands upon years?
50,
like 100 or so.
I read that it was their maturity age is like 50 or whatever.
Okay, so he's well past that, so it's not that creepy.
Well, he's not supposed to look. He's not supposed to look this old either.
No, he's not Bidening him, script doctor.
Yeah, it's not creepy. I'm just saying this is what's written. It's not supposed to be, but it does feel like it. He's an older gay guy trying to like seduce Elrond. It does feel like
a message. It's the message.
It's the message.
Pilgrim for 2 says, are JD Payne and Patrick McKay human? No.
Well, I would say this. They're clever enough to be acolytes of J.J. Abrams, but if they ever took a test to join the U.S. military, they'd say they don't have positions for people of that level of ineptitude.
Wow. That's saying a lot. But yeah, so that they have a conversation. It's all, you know, about the stupid Mithril and how it's going to save everybody. And Fembron is all pissed at the king, and the High King deceived me, and blah, blah, blah. I mean, he already accused the king of lying to him already, but now he's like crying to Fembron.
I mean, the king has the right to withhold information.
Yes, he does.
He's not deceiving anybody.
Every scene and every single other character thing is like every character set. Everyone seems so angry except Elrond and Durin. Like those two guys are just so happy together.
Mm-hmm.
They're always like, even when they're angry, they still seem kind of like dudes.
They're
Like,
cute.
yeah, I'm not really all that angry. They get over pretty quickly. So every other set of characters seems to be just full of anger, except for those two guys.
And then after that scene, they go to the next cringe scene between freaking Halbrand and Guy Ladriel, where she's like, "Oh my god, like you need to come with us. Like, oh my god, you're the king, and we're just gonna take you, and we're gonna win the South, and then you're gonna be kinged and whatever." Okay, and then he's like, "Okay, that was pretty much that's all that happened."
Yeah.
But he has this weird obsession with the flames too, because he keeps like staring into the flames, and I'm like, is this not a sign for you? Like he's just constantly staring into the flames, and I'm like, is this not? It's not a sign.
Mhm.
And then the white people, I mean, and by that I mean the humans, they show up to the ones that separated. Oh, wait, wait. Let me backtrack a little bit, because this scene was the scene where Guy Ladriel actually cried. Like she cried because she was look at, she's got a little tear.
This is the My Brother scene. Like,
yeah,
I just
this is
can't
the My
stop.
Brother.
I can't quit his vengeance.
I just love my brother so much. What's his name? I don't know. I forgot.
I've been fighting in his honor for so long, I forgot his name.
It has been that long. I mean, you know what? I never even knew his name. What was his name again? I just know his brother.
Dude, this whole thing fucking made absolutely no sense. She was like, she was so like, I'm doing this all for like, and he's like, well, what are you doing this for? Revenge, basically. And she's like, no, yes, it's revenge. That's basically what happened.
Yeah, because she's selfish and ignorant.
Yeah.
It's all about revenge. It's all about her. It's not about Middle Earth. It's not about the people, the civilian population of humans. It's not about the fact that she just saw a vision of Numenor being destroyed. She doesn't care about that.
She doesn't care about much.
Her agenda.
That's correct, because that's an unusual theme with a lot of these. Another reason why we don't like these girl power Mary Sue types is because they always act out of selfishness. So, I mean, you can compare this with another female character that a lot of people liked, which was the animated Mulan. And why did she go off to the army? It's not because, oh, I'm so oppressed. Oh, I want to prove to the world that women can be soldiers too. It wasn't any of that crap. She wanted to go join the army because she felt insecure, for one, about, she tried to do the whole thing where she's a matchmaker. She's going to be matched up with a good man to honor her family. Couldn't do that. That's not really her thing. Like she tried. She couldn't. So the only thing left for her to do is like, I failed. I need to make it up to my family. I need to honor my family by going off to war. And also I need to save my father. That's the way she's going to do it.
She wanted to save her dad.
She wanted to honor her family by saving her father, wanted to honor him by doing good in the war, wanted to save his life because she loves him above all else. That's why she went to war. It wasn't a matter of, they told me that I can't do it because I'm a woman. So I'm going to go join the war and prove to all the boys that women can be soldiers. The same thing, you get that in Prey too. Where the main character, like, why do you want to go hunt? Because you all think I can't. Like, that's not really a good motivation. Now,
I mean, it's true to a lot of young girls. I mean, I've experienced that with my sister and many other
with
people.
A lot of young men too. A lot of young men have the same thing. A lot of young men to start off with, I want to prove to you that I can do it, because it's a young man kind of thing. But usually when you have that in a movie, it's because they're young, and as the course of the journey moves along, they kind of get humbled and they learn something new. And one of my favorite examples of this is Jet Li's what was it? The one where he's Yunjia, that Chinese hero, that martial arts hero. What was it? Fearless.
Yeah, Fearless.
So he begins that movie as like this upstart young kid, and he watches his father, who's a master martial artist, lose on purpose. He's like, "Why'd you lose?" And he couldn't get over it. So he spent his adulthood becoming the best in the area, becoming a really good martial artist, never losing, always winning, no matter what the cost. And he's very arrogant, selfish, and doesn't really care about these friendships that he has. Like, he's a really good friend who owns a restaurant, and the restaurant guy, he cares about Hao Yongjia. He cares about him a lot. Mm-hmm. He just says, "Hey, okay, fine. You can, he lets him rack up a tab. He's like, hey, bro, like you're accepting all these students because they can drink, not because they're actually good students." And he gets in trouble when he murders some guy he's not supposed to, one-on-one fight. And what happens after that is that it turns out that his students lied to him, that this guy he fought actually didn't do something bad, didn't actually wound him in any way, didn't beat up his students, and he leaves in shame. And from that point on, he gets humbled. He starts to learn humility, and when he comes back, he learns to appreciate things, and he starts to become the hero that everyone knows. So usually, even when it's like, I want to be the best, I want to show everyone I'm the best as ever. Usually, when that happens, they don't start becoming a hero until they've learned humility and learned to grow past that motivation. What happens in Prey? Oh, she doesn't learn any of that. She's like, oh, look, I killed the predator all by myself. Here you go. That's it.
Yeah, here's the head.
It would have been cool if she did it with her, like she killed the predator with her brother, and
her brother just didn't sacrifice himself pointlessly. For
the
sake of the plot.
And also, it would have been cool if the predator knew how his own technology worked. That would have been pretty awesome.
Yeah, that would have been nice. Jane, do you have to go soon? I just lost track of time.
Yes, I do.
Okay.
I have to prepare for House of the Dragon.
No problem. Thank you so much for being here tonight, Jane. Before you leave, please let everyone know where they can find you and what you got coming up.
Yeah, you can find me on YouTube. I post movie and television reviews and occasionally some pop culture commentary. And I did just drop a video on Numenor, basically pointing out some differences between Tolkien lore and the show.
Nice.
So definitely
some Jane Theory lore videos. Excellent.
Is it 20 hours long?
No. No, they're just the things that irritate me the most about this show.
So is it 19 hours long?
No.
Not quite.
I'll actually be sure to check that out.
Yeah, I'll have to check it out, Jane. Good to know. What else you got coming up?
Oh, we have the She-Hulk reviews on Thursdays on As Heels vs. Babyface's channel, so definitely check that out. And Saturday mornings, I have my live stream at 8 a.m. So definitely see you there.
That's way too fucking early for me, Jane, but yay. Yeah, definitely check out
Central Standard Time.
Check out Jane Theory. And I think you're also doing a member stream tonight, right?
Oh, yeah. I'm doing a member stream on my channel at 10:30 p.m. Central Standard Time on House of the Dragon, episode 6.
There you go.
Cannot wait.
So if you're a Jane Theory member, be sure to check that out. And if you're not a Jane Theory member, what are you doing with your life? Go and become a member of her chat. Thank you again, Jane. Have a great night. Enjoy HOD.
Bye.
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 And then there were 3. And then
actually, and then seems to be the biggest flaw of this show, because that's how they're getting from point A to point B. And then
that's literally what happened. It's like, and then
the other guy needs to join Adar.
Yeah.
This guy's a complete simp for whatever. He's like oh, you're Soren, right? I don't care. Whoever you are, I'll serve you.
I'll serve you. Like, I don't care.
Pants,
like,
my mouth's already open.
I love you, Sauron.
Whoever you are, I love you.
And so that dude is like, fine, if you love me so much, or Sauron as you claim, why don't you prove it by killing this dude, right?
This random guy.
Just right.
And it's like, okay, so this is another thing I noticed about this show, is that they always cut off the interesting part. So it'd be really interesting to see him will he do
actually
it?
Do it.
Yeah. And see, will he do it? Will he not do it? Does he fail? Does he actually cut the throat of this guy? Now, it's implied that he does. But what the show does a lot is it always cuts away from things that would be interesting, like actually seeing Morgoth defeated in the opening scene. Like we saw Sauron defeated in the movies. Like we saw his fingers get cut off and being defeated by Isildur. And here's like, oh yeah, by the way, we defeated Morgoth like off screen, and then we don't even get to see Morgoth at all. He just kind of dies off screen. There's a lot of things that we don't actually like that are important, like significantly important events that we just kind of gloss over.
Yeah,
that's
like
why
how that kid climbed out of that fucking cave. I mean, I'm still wondering.
Yeah.
Or the well, sorry, the
how
well.
do you do that?
I like how you landed on this particular shot because just take a look on the left side and you have the slack-jawed hillbilly-looking orc there.
Yeah, the dwarf,
I was literally gonna say that this amazing screen grab that I just did reminds me of the new fucking Abercrombie and Fitch commercial because you got this fat freaking whatever, and then this guy's like, yeah, this is hilarious.
Like, someone do an edit where he's holding like a bottle of Bud Light or something. Be perfect. Give him a Bud Light and a cigarette.
Somebody needs to freaking memers. You need to do your thing.
Calvin Klein, just replace them with all in Calvin Klein jeans or something.
Yeah, it's like Calvin Klein ad or like Abercrombie Fitch.
Calvin Klein for Orcs would be great.
Oh my god.
Oh, have someone put Nike for just do it in the blade in the guy's hands by his throat.
Sacrifice everything or something like that. Yeah. Stand up for what you believe in if it costs everything.
Abercrombie and Mordor.
Oh, that's brilliant.
That'd be good. Very good. One other thing that really was really significant though was the really significant was the death of Finrod, which was Galadriel's brother. Like, oh, he died in battle because we saw him like scream and losing this battle. No, he doesn't die there. He died. Sauron killed him. So we see him in battle going, oh my gosh, this is so intense. And then he goes, oh yeah, he died, but not there. Like he was after Sauron, and Sauron found him first, and he's just dead.
Several hours later.
Yeah. Several hours later.
We don't see him actually die. We just see she just tells us, oh yeah, by the way, he's dead. Okay. Oh, by the way, we defeated Morgoth.
This is great. It says, by the way, waste of great actor here. That's Benjen Stark. I didn't know that was Benjen Stark. So like the incel kid was Benjen Stark all the time. That poor incel kid.
He wanted this to be Game of Thrones. Really weird that they kind of wanted to be Game of Thrones. Obviously, what this feels like. They kind of just go away from all the good stuff.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like, they wanted this to be Game of Thrones, but as you said, they don't show like any of the meat and bones of Game of Thrones. Like, what made people like Game of Thrones was that it was so gritty and like, so violent and so crazy
dark,
and like,
yeah,
it was dark. And like when this, I think it was that guy's name the Snake? The guy that got like beheaded. He was the prince dude. I forget, Prince Oberyn. When he got beheaded, I think it was by the mountain, and like everybody was like, "Oh my god!" Like that scene was fucking crazy. When he got his face smashed. That's what it was.
Yeah. That was what it was. And like, like you raped her, you murdered her, and everything. And then there was what was it? Oh, then the crown of gold where he put the molten gold on his head, and then like they captured Jaime Lannister, and out of nowhere, just cut off his hand. No warning, just. Hand removed.
But none of that, like, and when Bezos got this property, that's what he said he wanted. He said he wanted like a Lord of the Rings fantasy design, kind of like Game of Thrones. That's why we were all like kind of very concerned that we were going to be seeing like nudity and elves and weird things like that. But we didn't get any of that, and we didn't get any violence, like any good violence anyway.
You got that one guy with a bunch of arrows stuck in his chest like 2 episodes ago.
Yeah, like
it was pretty tame.
That was so tame. But yeah, so it's insinuated that this dude does stab this dude and he dies, and that was it.
It'd been pretty interesting to see it, visceral reaction, to see the blood and see how deep into depravity these people go. Like they're not just simping; they're actually into it. Like this, they slit the blood and paid the bloody price. So, but they didn't. They did. No. It's like, oh look, I guess we're just going to imply that he did it. Let's moving right along, and then we go back to the board. Like they're cutting out all the interesting stuff. Like to them, it seemed like all the cool stuff is getting in the way of all the boring. And it's kind of okay. Time to move on to the next boring scene with pointless dialogue and stupid.
No, because they rather leave that out and then show us a fucking 20-minute scene of Galadriel like just raping those dudes. Like that was their action scene. That was their important that they wanted to know.
That scene that was technically over after their first victory against that one guy, that had lasted forever because he had to go on to fight 2 guys and 3 guys and all of them. That one where we all knew what was going to happen. that was important. But seeing
Yeah.
actual like people make tough decisions, like slitting the throat of a fellow villager, somebody who was like your friend maybe, or some guy you knew, that's not important. Skip over that nonsense. We got to go to Galadriel being awesome again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my God, there's just so
We
much
have to
wrong
remind
with
people that Galadriel's awesome. Every
Yeah,
single
again.
instant
Every
she's
like
there.
5 minutes.
It's been 5 minutes. It hasn't been long enough. We need to remind them again how awesome she is. Des for 10, thank you, says, doesn't Galadriel have powers in the movies? If so, when does she get them?
I don't know at this
Well,
point.
I mean, technically, like in the books, like she's really, really old. Like in that, because in the third age, that's like in the movies, that's the third age, and she's like what, over how many thousands of years old is she?
Over 10, I think.
Yeah, like over 10 or something. And she's supposed to be about 3,000 years old here. So, and she's already been like a mage-ish, like in the books, from what I understand. But she's not like that in this series. So she's like a commander, and she's like a physical army person. She's no longer like magical powerful. She's 7,000, 5,000. Okay, so between 7 years old and 5,000. People are naming all sorts of numbers now in the chat. Okay, I have no idea.
I cannot recollect them. Sorry for that. That's my failure.
That's okay. No worries. But yeah, so there you go. She all you need to know, Des, is that she's the bestest ever, and she will defeat Sauron. And she's gonna slay him in bed. Just wait.
He's probably gonna beat Sauron off screen. He's like, oh, by the way, I beat him. He's dead.
She's gonna beat him, all right.
Yeah, we're gonna get the scene where she draws her brother's dagger, and then she charges, and it cuts to black, and then it's her walking out with Sauron's head in her hand.
Pretty much. Like, there's not even a battle.
That's what it's gonna be like.
Because obviously she wins, right?
And then, by the way, we go to another father and son, which we don't know that is father and son, but we know they're father and son.
The people who aren't watching don't know that they're father and son.
Yeah. So this dude and like the little kid, they're talking, and he's all like, aim high, and he's telling him how to aim better with his bow and blah blah blah. And the kid's like, "Why'd you even stay?" And he's like, "Well, because I'm your daddy." But he didn't say that. He was just like, "Well, because I love you guys. You guys, you're the ones that stayed, so I stayed to protect you." And he's like, "But the other ones left." And he's like, "No, but it's okay because there's more of you here. That's fine." And then his mom. Oh, go ahead.
On that part, because Don Numenor obviously is the dad. I mean, this almost without question. I mean, if he's not the dad, it'd be a surprise. But one thing this really has that's really interesting is it could tell the writers really hate their dads, and they wish they had different dads, because every single father, every single male character here is so supportive of everything the main characters do, from the dads, like even Durin's dad, who's supposed to be this hardcore like king of the dwarves, like, I support you in everything you do, so even in anger, like, come on, like somebody be the opposite, somebody go, hey, stop it. Because the thing is, the father is always, but this is all the way back down to Joseph Campbell, way back in this thousands and thousands of year tradition, like the father is the first like opposition that you ever meet, no matter what you are. Like you're the first, like you are, in terms of how Campbell describes it, like you're born into the comfort of your mother, like she's the one that comforts you and raises you and embraces you and everything. The father is the representation of the first element in your life that takes you away from that, pulls you away from infinite comfort, and throws you into like work or a job or a sports or something like that helps develop you. So basically, he's the first one to break away that comfort and throw you into this idea of you actually becoming an adult and maturity, which is actually, no pain, no gain. So he gives you the pain. He's the first guy that really gives you pain in your life, gives you adversarial conflict in your life. So all of these people, and Joseph Campbell even says this, that the father becomes the first adversary, the first focus of your hatred, of your dislike, because he's the guy that whips you into shape. Like, okay, son, time to hammer you into something useful.
Yeah. But he also becomes, if done well, he also becomes the most cherished and wise friend and mentor to you as an adult. And the other thing too, from a psychological aspect of things, is that for men, especially straight men, you contend with two fathers in your life. The father that is your actual father, and the father of the woman you're after. And they're very different arguments. They're very different challenges.
Yes,
because
yes.
one is protective of their child, and then the other one is like, I need to prepare you for the crap that I had to go through.
Exactly.
Worse.
Yeah. So keeping that in mind, and you're right. Yeah, that's what the father's supposed to do. It's supposed to, like, I'm going to prepare you for the journey ahead. That's what the role of the father is. The role of the mother is to nurture. The role of the father is to prepare the child, whatever it is, even the female child, for the world.
Yes.
For, give them some knowledge, the mentor type of
and it's not
role.
to be conflated with protection, because that's very dangerous. Protection is still in that infinite comfort type of thing, the shielded, the nurture, the don't look at the outside because it's evil. A true adult parent, one that actually values their child, would be like, I have to show you the evil, but I'm not going to just pour it onto you. I'm going to make sure that it's at a level that you can understand and process, so that when I'm not here, I know you'll be okay without me. Like,
exactly.
That's the rule. That's the best part of, like, not just a parent, but any mentor figure. It's like, listen, like Obi-Wan says it, you've taken your first step into a larger world because I've taught you how to defend against a remote with blasters in a safe environment. But when you get really good at that, you'll at least have a standing chance against the real thing.
Yes, and that you mentioned Obi-Wan Kenobi. Like Obi-Wan Kenobi, like people was like, oh, but he's a nice old wise man. Like he's really nice to Luke Skywalker. Well, okay, hold on. Well, remember the training session in the Millennium Falcon? What happens? What is Obi-Wan Kenobi allowed to happen? Like Luke Skywalker is using that little blaster thing, the little blaster ball, and it actually hurts him when it zaps him. When like Obi-Wan's like, yeah, take the pain. you gotta learn.
Because that's how you learn. But this was an important scene though, because like in the grand scheme of things, because at first I was like, oh god, and by the way, I was like completely falling asleep during this scene, so I was like, it's okay, I can keep
also
awake.
poorly lit, so yeah,
like something is happening. Oh, he showed him the sword, because that's what he does. He shows his daddy the sword. Okay, he's not, we don't know if it's his daddy or not, but we know. So he shows the sword. He's like, oh, by the way, I got this thing. And then he's like, oh my god, like it's basically Sauron's sword. Yeah, I got news for you. You got this sword. And then somehow, like I didn't get this part though, because I was hoping one of you can explain it to me, because he's like, wait a minute, I've seen this scene before. And then he goes to like this sword thing on the tower, and the sword is there, but it's not. It's like
a carving of it. Yeah.
It's a carving of it. Oh, okay. Because I thought it was like the sword, but
it's a twin sword, the two swords of evil.
Yeah, I was like, what? I'm just like, what is this? Like, what are they saying? But yeah, so they see the carving of the sword, and then they're like, oh, this must be a place of, I don't know. I didn't get this whole thing. I didn't get this part at all. I guess the tower they're in is where I don't know. They had that big battle and Sauron was worshipped there, I guess. And then we get this scene, which I was like so disappointed in. I hated this scene so much because it's the Persian girl is all of a sudden like, I'm going to bow to Sauron and we're all gonna die. So why don't we just suck him off instead? Maybe he'll let us live. And that was pretty much what happened.
About face right then and there, yeah.
Yeah, and the fucking
what changed for her? Like I don't get it. We skipped over. She did the speech, and then all of a sudden it was like, okay, so I don't want to do that anymore. It's like, show us the catalyst.
It's because the people left. It's because that old dude left.
That option.
Yeah, and then because of the old dude and how he took like half the people with him. She's like, oh my god, who cares that half of you stayed? We should just all surrender. Well, why didn't you go with him then? Because he was going to surrender.
Well, great, less mouths to feed, less people to worry about to survive. We gotta go. Let's leave the tower. If they're gonna come here to attack, we can leave and they'll come here and see nothing. Like there's no strategy to this woman at all.
Oh my god, I just didn't even get it, because I was like, well, if you wanted to surrender, why didn't you go with the old dude? Because he was going to surrender. Like that was his whole plan. And she's all like, now that he left, maybe we should surrender too.
That's
so
a
we
good
don't
idea.
die.
Acquiesce to tyranny. That'll keep you alive for a week.
That always works.
Oh my god. Yeah, didn't you know that tyrants, like when they roll in, they let everyone survive? That's what happens.
No sacrificing,
especially the useful idiots.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then fucking what's his name? I was gonna call him Femron. This is not Femron. This is Don Lemoness or Don Lemonor, whatever you want to call him. He shows him the fucking sword, and he's like,
"What sword did you find that in?"
Yeah, and he's like, yeah. By the way, your son found this sword. And she's like, wait, he did? Like, and she's no idea. She's like the worst mom. She has no idea what's going on with her kid. And she's like, where is he, by the way? Like, I don't know.
I think the fact that the lore is that he found that sword underneath some guy's barn.
Yeah.
Like it rolled really high on the loot table or something like that. And it's got this legendary sword from like his one of the like entry level quest or something. Like, oh yeah, you killed all my chickens. So
you mean like the old dude that had it in his, yeah, he was
or something. Like
he's the one that wanted to go and get on his knees
surrender
for Sauron.
himself to Sauron. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
like when Rey found Luke Skywalker's / Anakin Skywalker's like lightsaber in the back of a bar. Like it's this really weird placement for these legendary items to be.
I mean, it's trying to be ironic by it's like, oh yes, this epic thing is in a very mundane environment, like this, because they don't understand the concept of the sword and stone. Like that's the sword and the stone itself is actually very precious and valuable, and people come and compete for it in the lore.
Yeah.
But they're like, oh no, it's just a sword and a stone, like anywhere. It's like, no, it's far more important than that. It's a symbol of something, and it's out there to be seen by the world, so that those who are worthy that can pull it out are able to. It's a call to arms, so to speak, or a call to action. Hiding into a chest in a tavern on a planet by an old lady, it just doesn't have the same impact because it's essentially under a superficial lock and key. Like no one will ever have it. It's only determined who can hold it by the person that holds the key at this point. And it's not the same as when Obi-Wan is holding on to it for one part sentimental value and another part because he knows one day Luke will have to take up, the same cause that Anakin did. And hopefully with his more experience, he won't let Luke fall the way Anakin did. Like that was his speculation, so to speak, in Obi-Wan's story.
Right. And then in this story, though, the girl's like, oh my God, we're all gonna die. Let's surrender. And the alpha's like, no, we shouldn't surrender because people stayed to not be fucking, raped by the fucking orcs. And she's like, well, what are we gonna do then? And he's like, I don't know. We're in a tower. And then they show this tower.
I don't know. You're the woman. You're supposed to know all the answers.
I'm guessing they mean that they're gonna climb the tower and go on the top. I don't know what that whole thing was about, but they're
not even boiling oil to pour on to the people that will be attacking them from the tower.
I'm pretty sure Don Numenor is not going to ever be on top of anything.
Meanwhile, we see the fucking orcs heading out to go, I'm guessing, pillage that village, and they're all going, and that's pretty much what's going on. And then we catch up with Durin and freaking his boyfriend, Femron, who are having a really cute conversation again. And I feel like Durin is really cute. Like, I gotta say, like the dwarves are cute. Yeah, the meat. Yeah, that whole thing. Look how cute he is. He's got that long beard.
He braided his beard and he cleaned up himself.
Yeah.
Sunlight bothers him, but he's able to tolerate it.
Whose hands are? I was like, that was the most disappointing thing. Like, come on, some father, some male mentor figure has to push back somewhere. They can't all be freaking supportive 100% of the time.
Well, the thing is, the pushback usually comes as a point of, I want to challenge to make sure your convictions are true. Like, that's the other part that is always missed with some of these more recent mentor figures trying to be, either the adversary or the overtly supportive. It's like, okay, I'm going to support your decision. It's so blind because it's devoid of the wisdom of what the mentor or the father figure or any parental figure is supposed to have, which is, are you sure? If you can convince me, I will support you. It's not like just because you say it must be true.
Yeah, exactly.
And in this scene, they're basically discussing Mithril again, and Femron is telling them, like, I really got to tell somebody. I kind of did, just, cards on the table. Because we need Mithril for my people to survive. And Durin's like, what the fuck are you talking about? Perish? Like, what's gonna happen to your people? And he's like, the light's gonna dim, and we're gonna just fade away.
Yeah, it gives you like a poetic answer, like we're going to all our lives and souls will fade away. And Durin's like, okay, well let's go ask my dad. And instead of going, wait, that doesn't make any sense, Elrond. What the hell do you mean?
What do you mean you want the Mithril RNA vaccine? Like what the heck?
I mean, look at it from his perspective. So Elrond, of course, went back and forth on, I'm here for a favor. Oh no, actually I'm here to visit you because it's been 20 years. Actually, I'm here for a favor again.
Actually, yeah.
I'm here for you to help us build a forge, but I'm also here to visit you, and then I also need another favor.
Yeah, he literally said that though. He's like, you asked me if I was here for the Mithril, and I told you no. But like, I guess yes, I was here for the Mithril. Like,
how the king of the elves knew about it, no idea.
But this dialogue though, I was like, holy shit, the dialogue is bad. Like, it was really, really bad.
I mean, look at it from Durin's perspective. Like, okay, so Elrond obviously admits he lies to him, and he's like, "Oh, dude, Elrond, we have this awesome thing that we found, this vein of Mithril. It's cool, right? Like, it's really cool, precious stuff." Then Elrond's like,
"It's in a vein, all right." Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, there's lots of veins. And Elrond's like, "Hey, bro, I need that Mithril. My people need that Mithril, or else we're going to die, or whatever." It's like, wait a minute,
give me that Mithril, man.
Yeah, you know it's good because it's white, bitch.
But I mean, like all of a sudden, you find out that he has like Mithril, and then Elrond's like, "Oh yeah, if you don't give us all your Mithril, we're going to die." Really? How?
Yeah, like how?
So because you're gonna die unless I give you our precious Mithril, like the thing that we're trying to look for, and our precious, awesome thing that we can mine. You're just gonna die.
Lost 4 dwarves mining it, and we claim it's incredibly strong. Yet we know we can forge it, and if we can forge it, it's not as strong as we think. Like there's weird aspects about it.
This like if this were real, like in from Durin's perspective, it'd be like totally sound like BS. Like what the hell it's like you're just duping me right now. You're just trying to trick me.
What are you talking about?
I just every visit you have come to me asking for a favor, and you've offered nothing in return.
Right.
Like, literally, that's what Elrond's doing here.
Like, it
seems like you're full of shit. Like I don't know.
It really does. It would like normal if this were written correctly and honestly, this would be like Durin's like, no, what? So let me get this straight. The entirety of the elven race is going to fade from Middle Earth, and that's to give you my sandwich, right? It's kind of like, dude, bro, I need to borrow your car. No, if you don't let us borrow your car, my people, I'm going to die.
It's like pity sex. I'm going to war tomorrow, and if you don't do me tonight, I might die a virgin. That's what it is.
Exactly. It's like some weird crap like that. Like, wait a minute.
Oh my god!
Also, speaking of the dwarves getting trapped in the mining shafts, did you know that was skipped over too? I rewatched that episode.
Yes, of course. That was like the biggest. It was so fucking retarded.
So Elrond, he finds out about the Mithril. They confess to him, and then they go do some Galadriel crap, and then we come back and they're singing a song. And like, why are they singing a song? Oh, because there's apparently been a cave-in, and we're asking the stones to bring him back alive. Like,
dude, did you catch the part where he like comes in and he's like, "Oh, it's like they're all dead," and then she's like, "They're dead," and he's like, "Nah, they're all fine."
They're
like,
fine.
It's okay. It was one of those scenes from I think it was like I don't know which sitcom it was. I think it was Seinfeld. But when it like he goes in to like visit someone who's like, you know, has like it's bad news, but then he like delivers it in a really bad way. Or maybe it was The Office. I don't remember what it was. But then they're like, "Wait, why did you say it like that?" And it's like, I don't know, everything's fine though. Like it's just it's such a joke, but this show is not meant to be a joke. Like that's a sitcom joke. This is a serious thing. So it's like they had this very serious scene where he's like, they almost all died, but they're okay. Like, and it's just like we don't see you rescue them. We don't see where they like went or what happened or how you rescued them or where they were. We don't see any of that. And then you just come in and say all the things you just said and then say, but they're all fine. It's okay.
They're all fine. Is this really weird? Like that's one of the, if they're going to have that be a plot point, they might as well show it. Like that's like all we get is these are saying, oh yeah, they're trapped in the mine shaft. Okay. Did we, the first time around, I actually didn't notice it because the show is so boring. I just thought that I wasn't paying attention during the mine shaft collapse scene. But I watched the whole thing again today. Like, no, they actually didn't show it. They just tell you about it.
They just tell you.
And what exactly does a dwarf mine shaft look like? I mean, is it different? Is it more carved out? Does it have supports? Like,
Very sturdy.
There's aspects to it that I really I'm curious about that we're never going to see. And then on top of that, where's the tension and the stakes of seeing Durin struggle and do something that's beyond the regal nature of a prince or royalty to try and help out other miners? It's like, where's the sacrifice and the risk?
Script here is the kind of, I think this scene was a little bit like, oh, we're gonna create friction here for whatever reason I don't really get. But like, okay, so they had a little bit of friction this episode with Elrond and the king of the elves or whatever, because he was like, oh, you lied to me and like all this stuff.
I'm the king, I can lie to anybody.
Right, he's like, I'm a fucking king.
It's good to be the king.
Off. But then you get this scene, because at the end, like, you know, they're talking and he's just like, you know, you guys, he's like, oh, you're going to be saving like the entire elf race. And like, if you do it for us, it's going to be amazing. And then, so they're walking away to like go presumably to talk to Durin's dad. And then the fucking king is standing like on the rock, like just staring at them. Like he's just giving them this like evil glare as they're walking away. And I'm like, but you just got what you wanted. Like, why is he staring at him like that? I don't understand.
Can someone take this section of the episode and cross it over or splice a cut with it with the 1995 Mortal Kombat scene with Luke Cage versus Scorpion in the forest? Because those are almost the exact same trees. And you could have that conversation be playing out in the background while those two are fighting. Because that would actually make the scene incredibly interesting.
That's hilarious. I hope somebody does it for you. Memers, get to work.
Because like the scene was so, it was boring, but it was desperately trying to be entertaining, and I understood where it was. You have like, you know, give me the meat, give me it raw. I'm the fate of your race is in my hands. Okay, those are cool ideas. They're not woven well together to really give us the understanding of the urgency at hand here. It's okay. We got a passive king who's lying to people and creepily watching his subjects from a distance. And you have Elrond being the unwitting proxy to his demands by way of his friendship. And it's just, all these are story functions, which on paper, if you're just doing like kind of a breakdown of your episode, scene is fine. I mean, it's like, okay, yeah, we have this deceitful, desperate king who wants to use the relationships of his subjects to help save his race. Cool. All right. I got that. How do we do it? And then we see this, and first thing to my mind is not this way at all, like in any way, shape, or form. Like, give us some more conflict, give us some more doubt, give Durin a bit more hesitation, and really lay out the argument of why this is suffering. And
the conflict is just so forced. Yeah,
one elf dying of old age, and then we can actually see that there's a problem here. But we got nothing. All we get is a tree has black goo forming on it, similar black goo that coming out of the cow earlier in the series. We don't know why. But for some reason,
I know why.
Cure is in Mithril.
I know why, because the fucking orcs are pissing in the water.
Or the Harfoots are just or in their nomadic nature,
or that
polluting all the water supplies as they walk through it.
Or that. But seriously though, they're trying to make all these like because the biggest friction of this show is technically the orcs, right? Like the orcs coming back to kill everybody and Sauron coming back. Like that's the whole thing. That's supposed to be the main friction. But they're always trying to like insert all this like artificial friction. Like, oh, like all of a sudden the king is still mad and he's like staring at Elrond being friends with a dwarf. Like, I don't understand why he would be so mad. He got you what you wanted. Like, why are you staring at him like that? It makes no sense to me.
Like, you should have got more. Like, I want that table back. That's what he's staring at him for.
That's probably what it is. It's his piece
of dwarf stole my table.
Yeah, because Durin lied about the table, by the way, everybody, and was like,
he did it to show. It was a brilliant status move on the surface of what it is. It's like that table's not really important. It's like, no, I just wanted to see if they do it, and it's like,
Decent wants a new table.
Yeah, Decent wants a new table. That was funny.
It's fine. I mean, it doesn't quite fit into a Lord of the Rings style, but I'm like, okay, as a writer and the setup and the payoff of that, I get that. That's a very good character development moment. Is that Durin is a bit more jovial than you'd ever expect a person of his stature to be. And I think that's kind of why people are like him and his wife a bit more than that, because they're not selfish, but at the same time they're not crass about what they're trying to do. It's like they actually have a point of view, and we're getting little bits of it, not in the quantities I'd like to really sink my teeth into these characters and be able to enjoy myself watching them because I don't. But it's like it's the hint of like rosebuds in a pile of dirt. Unfortunately,
Oh my God.
It's like, oh wait, something's blossoming here, but the soil's poisoned. So will it survive? I don't know.
The next scene, and then we go back to fucking Halbrand, who's still struggling with the idea of being the king, because we all know he's not, because he stole that fucking thing. And he's just like, you know what? No, I'm not gonna fucking do it. So he like leaves it on the table and walks away. But then he changes his mind again and goes and grabs it. And then he's like, yeah, I am gonna go. You know what? Never mind. I changed his mind. He changed his mind 3 times in that scene. I was like,
this really feels like a D&D campaign where the DM is like, all right, what do you do? And the guy's like, I don't want to do this plot line. And the DM's like, well, that's what I have planned today. So you kind of have to go with it, or else I'm not playing today. So it's like, okay, fine. My character just changes his mind. He wants to do it now.
Totally. And then we see this like epic kind of scene where they're all like, you know, riding down the streets of Numenor, getting ready to get on those boats with their really shitty armor. I mean, look at this. This is wow. It just, and it goes on and on for quite a bit. You get to see the queen, the king, or not the king, sorry, the other dude. What's his name? Isildur's dad.
Yeah, that guy.
That guy.
I guess he's the head of the Sea Guard or something of that
nature.
Nature. Something associated with it.
Yeah, that's why it was so funny that because he's like the only military strategist there was like off to the side in their war room. Like they didn't even care what he had to say.
Speaking of him, I kind of wanted to see him or Halbrand or one of those guys like step in when Galadriel was beating up all the boys again. I wanted for them to step in and then fight her. And then, of course, normally it would end up with either she losing or them fighting to standstill. But, give her a challenge. Like, oh, my goodness. So this guy, there is a human type person that can actually stand up to Galadriel. But
I would have liked, again, to go back to the Mask of Zorro. I would love to have seen that one guy fight her like Catherine Zeta-Jones, just like chip away some of her clothing in front of her.
Awesome. That was great. I love that.
That's a really good movie. I love that movie.
I love that
movie.
It's
a brilliant movie. I adore it. And it has such a beautiful pacing that you hardly realize it's over 2 hours long.
I have to watch that movie again. It's been like way too long since I've watched it. But this is like one of the scenes of the Numenoreans.
Oh, look at that female soldier in the.
Yeah, there's a female soldier.
They're wearing like wife beater T-shirts or something.
Yeah. It looks so bad. It looks
what is
so
this
bad.
Armor?
I don't know. It's like fish scales.
I mean, they think it's dragon scales, but they're too round. They're fish scales. It's fish
they
scales.
look like fish scales to me. The sea is always right.
Always work harder, and the sea is always right.
And then you see during this scene where the soldiers are going, you see like the sister of Isildur being like, "Oh my God, you're going to war without me, bye," and that's pretty much it. And then she's just like all sad that he's leaving. And then they're boarding the horses and stuff onto the boat. Oh my God, why can't I grab that scene with the horse?
If you're using VLC, if you use the left and right arrow, it skips you 10-second increments, so you can get a bit more tighter.
Let's see if I can. Mahler taught me to do it scene by scene, and I still remember how he did that. Hold on. Did he gotta do it?
I can't remember the hockey for this. Or chapter by chapter.
I forget. But it's like there's one scene where the horses are floating in the air.
Hoisted in the air on harnesses.
Yeah, they're like literally on harnesses, and I can't see it anymore. Was it this scene? It was this scene, right? Like it was the next scene where they're like on the boat.
It's before the stable joke. I think it's before the stable joke, right?
I think so. It's before Galadriel like comes on board, right? I think it's before Galadriel comes on board. Because they're like on the boat and they're talking with the dad. And the dad's like, "You gotta go mop some fucking shit below the deck now, boy." And like that's pretty much what happens. This is one of the scenes, but there's no horses or anything. They're just getting
How would they
ready.
be stored on that? Such a small boat for an army.
Yeah, that's like there's only 3 of them.
Quincy's boat was larger than that.
I almost just want to watch this whole scene just so I can find that horse, but that's just gonna take forever. Just trust me, you guys. They freaking harness horses on there. Yeah, I'll have to like tweet out the picture later. They freaking harness the horses. It was so ridiculous. I was like, why? Why is this show like this? And then fucking Guy Ladriel comes on board and she's wearing the fucking Captain Marvel outfit with a star. Was this her like original armor?
I believe it was, yeah.
How did she get that? Because she was.
I have no idea how she got that back, but that is her armor. Also, it's in this scene. If you haven't seen the episode yet, which probably most people haven't, because no one's watching this stupid show, but the way they present it is like slow motion with this like song in the background, as if this is some great enlightened moment. But this would only work in this situation if she's actually been pulled down to her lowest depths, and that this is finally her way, her
moment,
back on after climbing her way from the depths of hell, having suffered to the point where this armor seems to be like she returned the armor, but she's gone through so much. This feels like the armor is kind of holding her together a little bit. Like the armor is giving her pride and psychological satisfaction that I am still me. But no, she has gone through nothing. Numenora is giving her like clothes and food and like a mansion to live in. And they're giving her armies. Like
not her original armor has a symbol of Fëanor, which she would not wear. Oh, wait, what?
It's designed like it. Like if you look at the other pictures,
it's designed exactly like it. Hold on, I'm gonna go back to the first episode because I have it here. We're gonna look at the first episode.
If not, it's like the one good thing they designed.
Because I remember being like, "What is that fucking shitty armor?"
Maybe it's the armor from like that's the one in the promos that we saw.
It is the one in the promos, but I thought that's the one she was wearing like when she was climbing the mountain and shit too, wasn't it?
I thought so.
No,
but maybe
she's not. No, never mind. We're wrong.
Okay. So that's the one from the promos, but not the one from the beginning of the episode.
Yeah,
or beginning of the season.
Yeah. She's wearing this weird other armor. Hold on, let me show you. She's wearing that weird chainmail armor.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So it's got the stars.
I don't remember that at all. I just remember
the main one.
The promotional armor.
Yeah, it's the promotional armor we're finally getting. Hold on, wait. There is another scene though. Hang on, because because on the boat she was wearing that ugly armor with that fucking weird neck thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's not the
way
same thing.
The way it's filmed. It's like, oh, she's overcome this huge obstacle and is able to is now climbing aboard the ship after so long in victory. That's not what happened at all. She's been taken care of. She's been catered to and coddled and everything while she was in Numenor. Yeah. She earned nothing. The only thing she did was go to the library against the rules and not get punished, and then disrespect the queen and not get punished. And then the only time she gets punished is like, how dare you suggest a man?
She got put in jail, and then she beat up a bunch of people. Come on.
Yeah, then she beat up a bunch of people, and then not get punished. And then she does all kinds of things, and to the point where even Halbrand is like, you don't get punished for anything, do you?
No, yeah, it's true. He did say that.
Even Halbrand's like, wow, you did all this crap. It didn't anger the queen one bit, but you wanted me to become king. Now you're in jail, so
now you're fucked. Oh my god, that scene when she came on the boat too. It was like so like the way they had filmed it with the sun shining behind her back and stuff like that. I was like, oh my god, why are you doing this?
She's the ray of hope.
She is. It's like, and she's got that sun like logo thing like on her chest.
This would have been so much better if she actually had suffered and lost everything and just thrown in the dungeon and forgotten about or whatever and tortured or something like that because they hate elves and stuff. And then she clawed her way back with her skills and her wit and her strength of character. And then finally she's able to elevate herself in this society that hates her to the point where she's wearing armor. She's climbing aboard their ship, ready for them to serve her and to uphold this agenda. But no, there's like nothing changed. Like she's been well treated in Numenor, and she's still being well treated in Numenor. Like nothing has changed.
So, and then this is like their armor just a little bit closer up here. Like you can kind of like this is so cheaply made. And then this, like, what is this? Like, it's
They're
like
etchings.
dented etchings of.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, the
Why
thing
is-
is that it's not painted well.
Why is everyone's armor white? Like
I
the
know.
orcs' armor is white, the elves' armor is white, Numenor's armor is
There's
white.
going to be a lot of friendly fire in this battle, unless you're really paying attention.
Look at this, like underneath, it's like it's not even real scales. Like, it's like
I mean,
oh
some
my
of these
God.
are like typical tricks used for mass, like extras and background players and stunt people
Mm-hmm.
and whatnot. But the thing is, there's at least a paint job that tries to hide it. And
yeah, but
here,
your main
it's very
character,
muted.
like this is Isildur. Like, shouldn't he have something that's kind of sets him the
Well, these
part?
three characters should be they are wearing the same type of armor, but it should be a bit more on the detail side of things because they're in the focus of the shot.
Exactly.
Like
Just a
that's
little
the
bit.
thing. The guy in the background there, he could wear like a t-shirt that looks like that. We would never know because he's out of focus, and that's deliberate, and that's used to save money, and that's fine and
Right.
dandy because again, he's not the focus. These three guys are. But in this shot, even on this screen that's nowhere near like, a TV size, like it's 20 inches. I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, yeah, that's some really cheap
It's
like,
shoddy.
liquid plastic, pull from a silicone mold etching stuff with a bad paint job. It's missing the life that would make this look like, oh, it's made out of an iron or metallic material, and it doesn't look plastic.
It doesn't
It's
have,
spray
it
painted.
looks plastic. I mean, oh look here, I got a even better shot of Elendil and his armor because he's supposed to be like, it's fucking Elendil here. Look at his helmet. It's like nicer than everybody else's.
Those
But you
wings are
got
gonna
this
be a
fucking
problem.
what? Yeah, for sure. But you got these like, I mean, look, there's a split here in his armor, which okay.
That's why you can sit down.
They look like cosplay armor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks so like unfinished. Like, you know, like you get a model like Warhammer 40k or something. It's like just a blank model or something. That's
Yeah,
what
like
it looks
the
like.
packs. Yeah.
Yeah, it was like this kind of opened up and like ordered all their armor from Amazon because that's what the show's being made. But they didn't paint it yet. They haven't had a chance
They
to.
did not.
Yeah, it's like one of those 3D printed things that you have to print, or that you have to paint, and they haven't printed it yet. They haven't painted it yet, and then they sail off.
Yeah.
And then they sail off, and they all, including their horses.
And it's
on
awesome
these-
and
on these
inspiring
three
and
ships.
whatever.
Three
And it really-
boats. And I don't
every
think
single
they're gonna pass under those arches because those sails.
Yeah,
are
that's
pretty-
what I was thinking too. Like, they're going to crash into those arches because they look a little small.
Oh my god!
Lower the sails. The arches
Bro,
are-
yeah, lower the sails, people. Whoops.
Raise the sails. It's like a Pirates of the Caribbean. Like, raise the sails. Lower the sails.
Lower the sails. Yeah, it's
We
totally
just
like
got done
that.
raising them.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Hold on. I'm still trying to get that scene where the horse was fucking attached to the thing. I couldn't get over. Why didn't I take a fucking Did I
Screenshot.
dream that? Because I was half sleeping when this happened.
Every scene in the show feels like the writers are imagining you like looking at their show wide-eyed and slack-jawed as in amazement. Like there's
As if you're in a movie theater, like
yeah,
on the
like,
edge of your seat.
you're the entire scene. You're going, oh my goodness! Like you're so enraptured with this world. Like if you look at the way they're writing and the way they frame everything, you just know that everyone involved feels like, oh man, okay. So the watchers right now are just so enraptured with our world, and they're so enchanted by the stupid Harfoot song and all this stuff and all of these scenes. And like in real life, like this is dumb. Everyone's like, no, this is stupid. So they really seem like it caught them off guard.
All right, people are saying it's in the 12 to 15 minute mark of the episode.
12 to 15.
And that's what I got. Zathis, Michael Carney, Mr. E. That's what they're saying in the chat. So
Wait, so it was earlier in the episode?
They kind of all blend
Why do I
together.
keep looking at the end of it? Oh, that's why I didn't. Oh, okay, because I keep looking at it in the wrong part. There you go. I found it. Oh, I see. Thank you, everybody. You guys are amazing. Yeah, because this was the beginning. There it is. There's the fucking horse.
that's so safe.
It's like, wait a minute, what's happening here?
Like, oh my god.
I want to imagine that's like their one talking horse. Like,
It's
like
Mr. Ed. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's Mr. Ed.
Oh, I thought it was like at the end when when
No,
Guy
the buildup
Ladriel was
towards
boarding.
the-
Yeah, boarding.
Yeah,
when they're
yeah.
actually boarding the fucking boat. But no, this is before. I thought I dreamt it for a second because I was like, I know I was half asleep through the show, but did I really dream that? Sail the horse, Wilbur.
What's hysterical about this
Wilbur.
this army is that Galadriel says they have 5 ships each with 100 men, and I'm thinking that's not enough for if the enemy is as dangerous as you think it is. That's not enough.
No,
shouldn't it be
500.
like 50 ships with 500 men on each one.
Jerkoff Juggernaut for 2 says the Jedi are pedos. That's the rumor. Yeah, that's basically it, you guys. That was the episode. They sail. They're going to be going to,
We saw the exciting incident after 5 episodes.
They're going to the south.
It's stark contrast to like the cyber. What was it called? The anime everyone's talking about.
Oh,
Cyberpunk Edge
Keep on
Runner,
Cybertech,
which we're
but Cyberpunk.
reviewing tomorrow.
Yeah, we are. If you look at it, if you remember Cyberpunk, it is like by episode 4, we're really getting intense. And by the way, they're only 20-minute episodes. So episode 4 is really like one episode of Rings of Power. And like we're getting so intense, like everything is ramping up, people are dying, like things are twisting and turning, and it has been every single episode.
Don't spoil it because I'm still on episode 5.
I'm gonna spoil it tomorrow, but every single episode is meaningful and it has a lot of substance in its own right. So unlike Rings of Power, like 5 episodes in, like, okay, finally something even remotely is happening after 5 freaking hours, 5+ hours.
That's true.
20 minutes of Cyberpunk is like, whoa, so much stuff happened. I mean, all this happened. Now it sets up the whole thing. So
and you're able to retain it, huh? So that's even better, is that you can retain it. I can't retain much of anything from Rings of Power.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God. I can't retain anything. I forgot where the horse was. I was like, I know I saw a horse being fucking strapped to some boat. That was weird.
And they all kind of blend together. Like just this happens in what episode?
It does. Script Doctor, have you watched Cyberpunk Edge Runners?
No, I haven't. I'm actually pretty behind. The only thing I watched recently that really impressed me, and I didn't think it was Reboot with Paul Reiser, and it's on Hulu or Disney Plus, and it actually makes fun of Hulu and Disney Plus.
What? Really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Paul Reiser?
It's about rebooting a sitcom, and Paul Reiser plays the most likable character he has ever played ever in his career. Like, you actually want to watch him, because most of the times when I see Paul Reiser, I want to groan because he plays insufferable or annoying. Yeah. But this time he plays a guy that he still has a little bit of the insufferable, but he's coming from a more honest and committed point. And it's about rebooting his old sitcom that his daughter is rebooting. And he's trying to make it the best it can be. And his daughter is an SJW woke person who just wants to use it as a form of therapy. And he understands that, but he's like, no, we want to make the show funny.
I was going to say, because I was just kind of like skimming through the trailer as you were talking. And I was like, there's a lot of woke people in this trailer. I don't know if
they make fun of oh my God, they make fun of the woke writers room really well.
Wow. Okay.
Like,
I might have
they
to
literally bring in geriatric comedy writers who actually tell jokes to teach the college educated, quote unquote, woke comedian writiters how to be funny.
I'm gonna have to check this out, Script Doctor. Thanks for letting me know, because that's kind of how I felt about Mythic Quest. Remember, because I was like, dude, it kind of makes fun of the woke thing.
Oh yeah, like it doesn't. I will say this: it has a poor pilot, but it's a good pilot, but it's poor in comparison. But the episodes 2 and 3, you watch them back to back, and it really hits strongly. And it's got Johnny Knoxville in it, playing very much against, similar to his type, but like different. And it's got Judy Greer, was from Arrested Development, constantly flashing people and all that stuff. She's really pretty funny in it.
Yeah, she's hilarious. I love her. So I was like, oh my God, this is
Keegan. It's got Keegan Michael from Key and Peele.
Yeah.
In it, and he's playing the pretentious actor, and he plays it very well.
Well, I saw him, and I was like, this got to be woke. Like, this.
Dude, they have a whole episode that makes fun of the fact that he gets an erection during a love scene.
What? Okay, I have to watch this. I have to watch this show. That sounds really good. Thanks for recommending it.
Yeah, I want to do a video on it once it completes its run, because...
Well, maybe we'll do a review. Maybe we can do a review like after this bullshit's over. Yeah, because, well, Script Doctor, I'm planning on either doing like after this, I thought that we should do House of Dragon, like the full series. So I was thinking of, I haven't decided yet because I haven't watched the whole thing yet. Or I haven't watched any of it yet, I should say. So I was kind of waiting to see if
it sticks the landing for the season 1.
Yeah, and then we'll kind of maybe go into it. But also, like, now this is a big contender because I like recommending shows that are actually good and people like, and
because Reacher was a great show.
Yeah,
and we talked about Mythic Quest. That was surprisingly a lot better than I was expecting it to be.
Severance, Ted Lasso.
Yep. Like Ted Lasso is going through some production hell right now, but hopefully they'll get that 3rd season out because it's going to be the last. And
Mythic Quest is coming out soon. I'm super excited about that one.
But then you guys are also doing the Edge Runner series, which I mean, for the last
we're doing Edge Runners tomorrow.
Yeah,
so
you guys are doing that tomorrow.
Yeah, so everybody, for those of you guys that are into anime and have seen Cyberpunk Edge Runners, Literature Devil and I are going to be reviewing that tomorrow on my channel at 4 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Central. So if you're down, you want to talk about it, come on by and let everyone know that we're going to be doing that. But yeah, so that's going to be fun. And I think that's where we're going to wrap it up. So Script Doctor, if you have anything coming up, please let everyone know where they can find you and plug whatever you got going on.
For the time being, just follow me on Twitter at ScriptDoctorPhD. I do have a YouTube channel with some evergreen content on there where I review film and television show. I even have oddly enough, and this is kind of like really weird, but I did one video on why a mystery box isn't a story, and then I think shortly after you, Literature Devil, did also one on how it's poison. I strongly recommend watching both of those back to back. I edited that one tired, and I actually caught some spelling mistakes, and some others did. So I'm going to be re-releasing that later, probably early in October, with the spelling mistakes and the audio fix, because that was at a time when I was doing like 3 things at once. But yeah, I strongly recommend checking some of those out. Yeah. Oh yeah, it happens. But, that's just my own editor in back of my mind saying, "Get on that, you son of a bitch."
That's funny. Okay, so that's it. That's it for you.
Yeah, that's it for me. Thank you so much for having me on tonight. It's been a blast.
Every Sunday you can find Script Doctor here as well. As long as he can make it, he's welcome to join this discussion. Literature Devil, tell everyone where they can find you and what you got coming up.
Now you can find me on Literature Devil on YouTube. I'm also on Twitch. I now become an affiliate, so that's pretty helpful. Occasionally stream on there. And also, of course, I have my Dr. Alpha Miracle Child comic, the entire thing, 120-page graphic novel, is now available digitally on Amazon Kindle. So speaking of Amazon, it's available on there if you want to check out the digital version. Now, people have been asking for the physical copy version yet. They're really expensive to print. So I still have some left, but they will be available when I launch Dr. Alpha 2, which should be next month. I was going to do it this month, but everyone and their mother was like, "We're going to launch a comic." So many new comics launching this month. I was like, I'll probably wait a little bit to push it back.
It happens sometimes like that. Like all of a sudden, everyone's like, "I'm going to release it."
Yeah, well, like every quarter there's actually a huge launch. It seems like, but
that seems that way.
Yeah. But that's actually good for everything because it's good circulation and communication along everybody's product. So
I think so. Yeah. So, but everyone's wallet is probably hurting, so I'm going to wait till next month.
Good idea.
People's wallets time to recover. So it'll be next month. I'll be launching Dr. Alpha 2, Dr. Alpha Dead Man's Lullaby, Part 1. It's going to be a really long story, so I cracked it in half. But it's still going to be around 70-something pages.
That's pretty good.
That's awesome.
Yeah, there we go. It's going to have a lot of stuff in there. I think you enjoy. I had a lot of fun writing it. My artist having a lot of fun drawing it. And the cover is done by the great Anthony Figueroa, colored by Gabe Al-Taib, that people probably know by now because of Eric Ripa.
Yep.
Yeah.
Rippaverse. Yeah, the Rippaverse stuff. And that's going to come out hopefully launching sometime early October, which is a better month anyway. Because
are you doing like a whole like Indiegogo thing, or is it finished and you're just doing
Indiegogo?
It? Okay.
Indiegogo. Although we are kind of far. This is going to be way smoother than the last campaign, so now I know what I'm doing. So I got like 15 pages laid out, already done. I'm going to have 7 colored already. So we're getting there. We're getting
learning
there.
curve. Yeah. Oh, I get that.
Way better handle.
Well, we're going to be promoting it. We're going to plug that when it's released, and we'll get everyone to support independent creators. Yes,
I appreciate
yes.
that. And
course.
one of the perks for Dr. Alpha 2 is going to be you can get the physical version of Dr. Alpha Miracle Child with it if you wanted to. So
That's good. That's a good
it'll be
perk.
there.
And as for me, like I said, tomorrow you can find me here with Literature Devil, and then later in the evening I'll be on Midnight's Edge for Toxic Femininity, and then Tuesday with Gary, Mahler, and Az for the Real BBC, and then I got a lot of other stuff going on every Friday, Wednesday, political show, Friday, good news. So come and hang out with me. Follow me on Twitter if you want to know where I am, what I'm doing. I usually announce it on there. So until next week or next time, have a good one, guys. Take care, everybody. And let me see what I should go out with. Let's go out on Scarlett Johansson's A Slut. Let's go. Bye.
To start with about shipping, because I know a lot of fans were actually pretty invested in the idea of Natasha with actually either or both of you guys, and now obviously she's with Bruce. What do you guys think of that?
She's a slut.
I was going to say something along that line.